202. We're also going to be getting into the biggest online portal here in Ghana, the Class FM online portal, and review some stories from and just join me on this ride and let's do this together. If you have some very, very strong thoughts on some of the stories that we're going to be discussing here, just let us know. 0500,000 202 0500,000 202. This morning, let me start with the Inquisitor newspaper. The Inquisitor newspaper has on the front page, poor service delivery, Delta Air in a mess, makes passengers to Ghana stranded for days at JFK. There's the full detail of the story within the papers this morning. Shift from remittances to investments. Sami Gyamfi to African diaspora in a speech in London somewhere last week. Julius Debra urges NUST to turn research into jobs. Also here, and Parliament approves landmark cocoa board reform. The full story is on page 4 and page 7 of the newspaper. Let me get to the Republic Press newspaper this morning. And Dami AG lock horns over Sedin acquittal. Well, this story has been in the news very, very, very strongly in the last few days. Adjoa Safo defies court battle, bids final farewell to father. NPP takes fight to Mahama, announces nationwide democracy protest. The full story is on page 3 of this newspaper. And Mahama commissions refurbished Tor crude distillation units, applauds management for operation revival. The full story is on page 4 of this paper. Government announces activities to mark first anniversary of 2025 helicopter crash. The full story is on page 9 of this paper. It's 1 year already. Well, it's come very, very fast indeed. And government approves separation of Justice Ministry from Attorney General's Department. The full story is on page 7 of this paper. Let me get to the Guinean points this morning. On the front page, you have Don't Rush. Qualified applicants will be called soon. National Security Coordinator assures applicants who've applied to be part of one security agency or the other. And President Mahama fulfills promise to security chiefs. Here, the full story is on page 5. Valco staff jubilates as Lands Minister clarifies company is not for sale. Assures government is seeking strategic investor. There's a photo here of the Honorable Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Emmanuel Amakofi-Boa. And Mahama commissions refurbished Tor crude distillation units. The full story is on page 4 of this paper. To the front page of the Informer newspaper, you have not arrived yet. Economist warns governments as Ghanaians struggle to feel economic recovery. There's a photo here of Professor Godfred Alufa Boping. And minority sounds alarm over 704% full oil levy hike. There is a photo here of Dr. Gideon Boako who speaks for the NPP. And then also on the front page, you have AG OSP TEF war, Supreme Court applauded. Legal expert warns against AG overreach. There's a photo here of the Chief Justice, the Attorney General, and that of the Special Prosecutor, Lawyer Kisi Ejabing. Also on the front page of the paper, you have Appeals Court verdict on Sedina. TI demands accountability beyond acquittals. The full story is on page 5 of this paper. And protect your territory. Koko Anyidoho demands stronger guardrails to safeguard Ghana's journalism. All of these stories are on the front page of the Informer newspaper. To the Daily Democrat newspaper, on the front page, you have a photo here of President Mahama, that of Minister of Energy John Jinapor, and lawyer Edmond Combat, who is the TOR CEO. On the front page of this paper, you have Mahama restores TOR to power reset agenda, and cybersecurity experts declare war on scammers and fraudsters. News must turn innovation into enterprise, according to Dr. Julius Debra, who is the chief of staff. And this is a conversation that many have been raising over the years. Is it just a case of training thousands and thousands and thousands of graduates every year, and a lot of them coming out to literally look or beg for jobs or can't seem to find jobs? What kind of training models are there in the schools these days? Also on the front page of the paper, you have Okai Minta engages NDC regional youth organizers, and the Rollins Foundation, a pillar of legacy and national commemoration. All of that here on the front page of the paper. Let me do a few more before we get into the conversations. On the front page of the Daily Graphic newspaper, Greater Works begins today. The full story is on page 20. For all of you who are members of the ICGC Church, I'm sure those are a very big part of your program. And tour back in full operation. President Mahama commissions refurbished facilities. There's a photo here of His Excellency in there. And Ghana Integrated Petroleum Hub also here. Touchstone Capital rallies up to $12 billion investment for phase 1. There's a photo here of CEO of the organization, Dr. Tony Obeng. And don't assent to tribunal bill. Stop harassing opponents. Minority to government. All of these stories on the front page of the Daily Graphic this morning. To the front page of the Daily Guide this morning. Move beyond remittance to investment. This is a story attributed to the CEO of Gold Board, Sami Jemfi. And UCC must produce job-ready graduates, according to Chancellor Sam Jonah. The full story is on page 6. Tribunals are kangaroo courts. Minority leader says so. The full story is on page 3 of this newspaper. And Dami criticizes Sedina Tamaklo's acquittal. That story has been going back and forth since last week. And man jailed 10 years for defiling stepdaughter. There's a photo here of the convicted criminal in here as well. And over the weekend, there was also the enskinment of the new regent of Dagbon. That has also found its way to the front page of the Daily Guide newspaper. To the front page of the News Center newspaper, Jemfi calls for diaspora-led investment in Africa. The full story is on page 6, with fuel prices surge biting consumers hard. So the prices have been going up and up and up over the last few days. Yesterday, it was 15 cedis and some coins for super, of course. Diesel is 17 and some coins, depending on where you're buying it from. Emphasis on where you're buying it from. If you're buying from Goil or some of the private OMCs, the prices hover around that figure. If you're buying from the others, the prices could even be higher. So it's really up to you at this point on where you want to buy your fuel. NPP declares August 6 demo over rule of law concerns. The full story is on page 8 of this paper. And farmers who change from cocoa to other crops risk jail. I saw, excerpts of that cocoa bill over the weekend, and I found it very, very interesting indeed. Let me do a few more before we get into the conversations. On the front page of the National Voice newspaper, democracy under attack. NPP minority parties to embark on massive demonstration on August the 6th. I know NPP rewards loyalty. They would honor my service, as Santiman Kuka says so. Accra celebrates 27th anniversary of Morocco's throne day. That is also here. To the front page of the Daily Statesman newspaper, Kokoku fires up for 2028 comeback. Koka has the right aptitude to build Ashanti NPP, and Tua Yeboah congratulates newly elected Sunyang East executives and calls for party unity. Ghana's democracy under siege. Apenyomakin demands accountability before Parliament's recesses. And MPP announces nationwide demo against attack on constitutional governance. All of that is on the front page of the paper. Let me wrap up with a few more, starting with the Metrolens newspaper. Vamijo takes over. The full story is on page 5. Ride-hailing markets leaves Bolt Uber in a rear view. 100,000 rides completed since May 2026. Well, quite a number of these companies are coming in every now and then. And I'm sure once you have a lot more in the system, competition is only going to get better. I would love to see more. 3, 4, 5, 10, 15. Once there's competition in there, at least it would affect pricing for those of us who still use the app, hailing cars. To the front page of the Searchlight newspaper, you have Mahama calls for citizen responsibility after viral Tema Newtown fish sanitation video. And I had someone discussing this with me over the weekend as well. Said Natema Klo acquittal politically engineered. NPP accuses Court of Appeal and governments here. And then to the Business and Financial Times, you have Customs Bill leaves key duty questions unresolved. PwC urges a business caution, says second half set to test economy, and your pension assets surpass 120 billion Ghana cedi as NPRA pushes for wider coverage. The full story is on page 3 of those newspaper. Let me wrap up with the Insight newspaper. Mahama Hills tours recovery, vows to make refinery a strategic driver of Ghana's industrial infrastructure, and tour set to hit ECOWAS markets. The full story is on page 3. Armed land guards allegedly besiege Kwashikuma. Warrior chief elders call for IGP's help, and Socialist Movement of Ghana backs breakthrough against US press crackdown. All of these stories have found their way to the front pages of the newspapers. Newspapers this morning, starting with the Daily Democrats newspaper. A number of interesting stories on the front page, but I want to start with the story of TOR and all that Edmund Combat has been doing at the organization. The full story is here on the front page. President John Dramani Mahama has reaffirmed his government's commitment to rebuilding Ghana's strategic industries, declaring that the successful revival of the TOR signals the dawn of a new era of industrial transformation, energy security, and economic self-reliance. Commissioning the refurbished crude distillation units at the refinery at Tema, President Mahama described the occasion as more than the reopening of an industrial facility. He said it symbolizes the restoration of national confidence in Ghana's ability to rebuild and manage critical state institutions through visionary leadership, professional management, and the expertise of the Ghanaian worker. The president reflected on TOR's difficult years, noting that although the refinery had become a symbol of decline, it now stands as proof that state-owned enterprises can succeed when guided by discipline, competence, and a clear national vision. He praised the resilience of the refinery's workers, management, and board for refusing to allow the strategic national assets to deteriorate or be abandoned. President Mahama stressed that his administration deliberately chose to restore the refinery instead of giving up on it, insisting that nations seeking industrial growth do not discard strategic institutions during challenging times, but reform and strengthen them to serve future generations. He said that the revival of TOR forms part of the government's reset agenda, which aims to restore confidence in public institutions, rebuild national capacity, and create sustainable opportunities for economic growth. According to him, the refinery system return to full operations demonstrates Ghana's determination to transform its natural resources into jobs, value addition, and long-term prosperity. And the story goes on and on and on. If you're anyone who's been following these conversations on TOR over the last few years, you would be very, very happy about this. And for me, this is why. I remember not too long ago, this must be somewhere around 2023, 2024, early 2024, late 2023, thereabouts, where it was as if it was a daily thing. There was no day where you took a newspaper here in Ghana and there wasn't a story about TOR. There was almost always a story about TOR. And sadly, it was almost always for the wrong reasons. I remember at the point, it got so bad that there was even talk that the organization was going to be sold and that it was also being run very poorly. And I do remember at some points where about 22 million Ghana cedis, which is coins, 22 million Ghana cedi is not even up to $2 million thereabouts, was being mentioned as a price of such a facility. Now think about it. For a country that discovered oil in commercial quantities and producing up to about 100,000, 150,000 barrels every single day, we are not up there. We are not an OPEC country. We are not, countries that are, exploring up to 1 million, 2 million, 5 million, 10 million barrels every day, like the Gulf, or some parts of Africa like Nigeria, Angola, Gabon, Republic of Congo, and so on and so forth. We are doing very small numbers, but this is the thing: if you start small, it has a way of impacting on pricing of fuel in your country. At this point where a lot of people are complaining about the prices of fuel, especially since like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, if we're literally doing everything here, there was a big chance that fuel may be selling for a lot cheaper. Before I went on a break, I remember that conversation that I had with quite a number of experts in that industry, and the fact that a lot of oil that is generated in our part of the world sometimes go all the way to Holland, go all the way to Belgium to be refined and brought back, because we do not have the capacity to be able to refine. Once they go through all of those processes, you bet that is only going to be upping the ante as far as the price of these products are concerned. So when you step out there to the oil marketing company this morning and you're buying super at 15 point something, or you're buying diesel at 17 point something, these are some of the reasons why you're paying so much for the fuel that you consume. So depending on the car that you're using, you are buying God knows how many liters of fuel every day, every week. And if you're not earning a certain amount of money, or if you're not lucky to be getting some coupons at the end of every single day, at the end of every single week, I bet you're going to be spending quite a good or significant amount of money on fuel. And it's not just about that. We see how this plays out when it comes to Trotskys. We see how this plays out when it comes to taxis. We see how this plays out when it comes to the up-hailing companies. Every now and then, we see the trotro drivers literally charging whatever they want. You are picking a taxi from one part of town to another part of town, and we know the prices. You are getting a Bolt, and Uber, a Yango, name them, these days there are plenty. And sometimes when you see the prices, you wonder, if we're doing all of these things ourselves, who knows? I don't know how much they may have been selling now, but maybe a lot cheaper than 15, maybe a lot cheaper than 17, maybe 14, maybe 13, maybe 10, I don't know. But at least the amount of money that you've been spending on fuel every week, you could have saved some of the money to do something else. So I was sad, I recall very strongly, somewhere around 2023, 2024, when it appeared that the company was going down practically every single day. And it didn't look like the previous administration had an antidote in dealing with it. I don't know what lawyer Edmond Combat and his board are doing over there. I haven't been there. I've been trying to get him to do an interview with him. But it's obvious that he's doing something right. Because if he was not doing something right, we wouldn't get here. What we would want to see going forward, I'm sure, is that just like the president said over the weekend, a lot more investment would go there. And I hope that whatever investment that is also going to be going in there would also be managed properly. Whether it's investment in the form of capital injection, whether it's investment in the form of expertise who come to work there, whether it's investment in the training of the staff who work for the organization, whatever it is, you would want us to be doing a lot more. The last time I checked, we're refining up to 45,000 barrels every single day at all. It is very, very low. Very, very low. From what you hear other countries do. But if we have some investment coming in, and we can do plus or minus 100,000 before the end of the year, 200,000 by next year, 500,000 in another 3 years, who knows how that is going to strongly impact not just on you, but myself. Let's see how this goes going forward. Another story that I also see making the rounds in quite a number of the papers this morning has to do with the new VC at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, Professor Ejari. I saw videos of his investiture over the weekend, and for me, it wasn't just about the investiture. It was about his vision and what he seeks to do in his 4-year term as a chief executive officer of the university. A couple of weeks ago, I was having a conversation with one of my lecturers concerning this phenomenon of thousands of students graduating every year from school. The kind of courses that are offered at the universities these days. The fact that these days there's almost a university at every major town in Ghana. So you have thousands, I don't know the numbers. If you add the private universities, and these days the technical universities, it could be 50,000, 70,000, 80,000, 100,000, whatever the figures is, graduating at the end of every year. Now think about this. If you have such huge numbers graduating from university anywhere in the world, it is a big thing. It is a huge thing. But look at the Ghanaian space, where you have thousands who are graduating every year, and there are very little opportunities. So the question naturally that is asked, or that has been asked over the years, what are we training the kids to do? What are the universities training the kids to do? There's been all of these conversations about, training, graduates for them to find their feet, for them to find their way, get into the areas of entrepreneurship and all of that. But a lot of conditions must be put in place to ensure that all of these graduates who are coming from school can also find their feet in that particular area. Elsewhere, when students are done with their project works, sadly, it's a whole issue here in Ghana. I'll probably discuss it another day. But when students are done with their project works, depending on what they did, for my father's generation, there were people who did stuff, managed to get some grants, managed to get some money, managed to start their own companies, and some of these companies have been running till this day. If you go to the very developed settings of the world, there are big organizations who are pushing students by the time they are in level 300, by the time they are in level 400, because of the programs that they are reading or because of the research work that they are doing. By the time they get to the master's level there, then it's another conversation altogether. So you can see a clear link between industry and the university. Here, sometimes it's very, very difficult to say so. I don't want to go for this conversation of maybe, just maybe, the courses that are being offered, because I've had the opportunity to go into that space in the last couple of years. And it's fair to strongly say that the courses that are still, around, depending on the organization, of course, depending on the school, appears to me as courses that are of a very high level. What I would want to see is that synergy between industry and the university institutions. So for students who are offering chemical engineering, it's not just a case of sitting in Kumasi for 4 years. But every now and then when you're done with a semester, if you can get an opportunity at all, if you can get an opportunity at an organization that can benefit from your skill sets. You see, you don't have to sit in a university and wait for 4 years. And then when you're done with the 4 years, you start writing application after application. Get an internship. Go on an attachment. Learn something about that organization that you have ambitions to work for when you are out of school after 4 years. And most often, this is something that a lot of students do not like to do or do not want to do. When you are interning or when you're on attachments, there's a possibility that you don't get anything. There's a possibility that you're not paid anything. But this is what is likely to happen. Imagine reading chemical engineering, or imagine reading electrical engineering, mechanical engineering, actuarial science, architecture, whatever it is, medicine, name them. And then after first semester in the university, that 2 months that you're going to be at home, normally the first semester is very short. It runs from, I don't know whether it still runs from, in some of the schools. These days, because of COVID, a lot of things changed. But in some of the schools, they are still running first semester from August to December. And then second semester is starting from February somewhere to the ending of May or somewhere to the early June. So normally for first semester, there's not much to do. It looks like the moment you're done, right after Christmas, you're going back to school. So there's very little time to get some internship, or there's very little time to get some attachments. But at least for the second semester, when you are done, at least for the second semester, you are done by plus or minus ending of May or early June. You're going back to school plus or minus August, early September. There is absolutely nothing that stops you from looking for an opportunity. You're not going to be paid, and it's not fun when you're not working. When you're working and you're not paid anything, it's not fun. I've got to admit that. And sometimes you may live very far, and sometimes you're not even in a position to afford pick 2 or 3 cars just to get to work. But you see, you are building a future for yourself. You are getting an experience. So this is what is likely to happen. Let's say you go for internship first year, or you go for attachment first year. You do that same thing for second year. You do that same thing for third year. You do that same thing for final year. And you get the opportunity to do your national service in that same organization for another 1 year. You know what you would have done? For almost 2 or 2.5 years, you'd have built a lot of experience. When you build that experience and you're applying for the job in that same organization and you're looking for someone who has 2 years experience, 3 years experience, you would have it. But if you are coming fresh from school, you won't have it. And if all the 4 years you were just home, I can understand that because of economic difficulties. I schooled at the University of Ghana and I've had the opportunity to further my education since. And I know what used to exist there. I mean, for long vacations, I had a lot of friends who used to travel, go and make some coins, use some of the money to come and pay school fees, and use some of the money to take care of families and all of that. I get that. But when you have ambitions of getting a job in the long term, you've also got to prioritize your future and ask yourself, if this is what I really want to do, in any field, can I start by getting some experience? Can I start? You see, the more you find yourself in that working environment, you would learn something. So that even if that organization does not take you, especially when you're done with national service, and you're not too sure what to do with yourself, at least you have some knowledge where you can start something. The challenge though is that sometimes in our part of the world, it's almost impossible to go to a bank as a young grad and ask for a loan to start a business. It's almost impossible. You may not even get. You may have to know someone, and if you don't know anyone, chances are that you won't get. If you're lucky and you get, praise God. But chances are that you may not get. So if you're not getting, what happens? You have to find your way. Some way, somehow. I don't know how, but you have to find a way. Some way, somehow. If you're not getting it, sorry. But if you get it, on the back of all the moments of internship and attachment that you had, you can start with a thing or two. Who knows? Who knows? You can start with a thing or two. And before you know it, at least you build some experience, you start earning something for yourself. It's very frustrating when you spend 4 years at a university. And I hear this all the time. I get messages all the time. Sometimes it overwhelms me. I wish I could do something, but I can't do anything. Young grads who have been out of school for 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. And they'll tell you, I have tried and I have tried and I've tried. The other day, I got a message from one of our regular texters. He's been home for 8 years looking for a job. It doesn't seem to work. He's only been lucky with contract jobs. And we know contract jobs here in Ghana. They come with next to nothing. No insurance, no nothing. If you are paid 1,000, it's 1,000. You go home with 1,000. If you are paid 500, it's 500. You go home with 500. Nothing else. If you're sick, you take care of yourself. So those challenges are there. And I get that. I really wish and hope that this new CEO of NUST will come in with something very special for his organization. I mean, at least for the next 4 years. Turn all of these innovations into enterprise. Do something. Come out with new things. Come out with new ideas. Because every now and then there are new things popping up. The tech that I used to know as a child, obviously I'm not too familiar with that space as much. But I used to have a lot of young friends who would go and read all kinds of courses there. Of course, we have all grown up now, so I may not be too familiar with the courses and all of that. But I want to hope that they are still doing some great stuff there. I mean, this was University of Science and Technology. We only added the Kwame Nkrumah. So for the only older generation, it is still UST. For the new generation, it's still very much NUST. But it's still the same science courses, it's still the same technology courses, it is still the same engineering courses, and so on and so forth. Let's take it to the next level. And let's see what can be done about this particular thing. Now that will lead me to the story on the front page of the Ghanaian Points newspaper, because it also has to do with jobs in one way or the other. Around for all of us. The story on the front page of the Ghanaian Points got my attention when I got to work this morning. Don't rush. Qualified applicants will be called soon. And this, according to the National Security Coordinator, COP Osman Abdul Razak, He's the National Security Coordinator. I'm going to be reading excerpts of that story before I get into those conversations. Now, the National Security Coordinator, that's COP Osman Abdul Razak, has appealed to Ghanaians who have applied for recruitment into the country's security services and other national security institutions to remain calm and avoid unnecessary anxiety, assuring them that all qualified applicants will be contacted at the appropriate time. Now, speaking on the ongoing recruitment process, COP Abdul Razak stressed that the National Security Secretariat is committed to ensuring transparent, credible, and merit-based selection process, urging applicants not to fall victim to fraudsters or individuals claiming they can influence recruitment. Quote, "Don't rush. If you have genuinely met the requirements and successfully gone through the process, you will be called at the appropriate time. There is no need to panic or seek shortcuts," he stated. According to the National Security Coordinator, the Secretariat appreciates the eagerness of many young Ghanaians to serve the nation, but emphasized that the recruitment process must be conducted carefully to guarantee fairness and national interest. He cautioned applicants against paying money to individuals who promise recruitment opportunities, noting that no one can manipulate the official process on behalf of the National Security Secretariat. We urge all applicants to rely only on official communication from the National Security Secretariat and the relevant security agencies. Do not allow anyone to deceive you into paying money with the promise of securing employment. And the story goes on and on and on. That's when I knew that you were sneaking out all the time. I understand your concerns very, very well. Tell you, I understand your concerns very well. Sisters, brothers, nephews, nieces have gone through within the last, I don't know how many months now. Honestly, this process has been going on for months, from the day it was advertised to going through one process or the other, going through medicals and God knows what. It's been months. If you've gone through all of this and you still haven't heard anything, it will be frustrating. COP is not it's not easy being unemployed though. Look, a lot of these people, I'm sure you know, with the greatest of respect, with the greatest, utmost, respect, a lot of these young people who want to work in the Ghana Police Service, the Army, prisons, fire service, immigration, national security, and you can go on and on and on and on. COP is not only about serving, no. If it's only about serving, they can go and serve anywhere. Issues. The other security agencies are doing whatever they are doing to ensure that my young nephew, my young niece, that brother or sister that I don't know from anywhere gets an opportunity to serve. And you can say all you want about serving, but that young man or that young woman who wants an opportunity to get a job in any of these agencies, please, whatever you people are doing, can you speed up the process a bit? To the best of my knowledge, I've heard the president speak on this subject a number of times, and it does not appear to me. And I've also heard the Minister of Interior speak a number of times about this, and it does not appear to me that it is money matter. CUPs will come in and all of that. We discussed it here. I wasn't happy about it. You see, there are some things that even if you know, you don't say. I honestly thought that was a communication gaffe. Where in the world do you hear someone wanting to join the US Army and that lies in the hands of the senator or the congressman or the mayor? Like they have slots. Do you hear that? You go through the process. There's a process you go through, and if you meet the requirements, you're hired. End of story. This thing of slots, we know it exists, but it's not everything you put out there in the public domain. With the greatest of respect, but he made those comments. They have passed. I recall he tried to come back and do some somersaulting, but those comments had already been made. I don't see how a member of parliament, an assemblyman, a mayor who has next to no idea, some of them with the greatest of respect, some of them have military backgrounds, some of them have security backgrounds, they have worked in the service, they have retired. So if I hear someone like the MP for, is it Wa East or Wa Central, Peter Lanchini Tobu, who served all the way to becoming a superintendent of the Ghana Police Service, speak about some of these matters, I can understand. But not all of them. Not all of them. So getting a slot and giving it to your son or your nephew or your niece, I'm not too sure it's proper. If your niece doesn't qualify because of who you are, the person still gets the job. Is that where we are going? I don't think we would want to go there, especially for our security. No wonder over the last few years we've been hearing all kinds of funny stories about people who have been hired to work in some of these security agencies and their outputs have left a lot to be desired. We want to hire the right people, but we also want to ensure that the standards are very high. And whoever is going to get an opportunity, I don't know when they are going to start, but whoever is going to get an opportunity, CUP, you say we should be patient, so we are patient. But I can confidently tell you that a lot of young people who want opportunities to serve, they are becoming a bit restless and they are becoming a bit impatient. Because the last time I engaged somebody on this was someone who wanted an opportunity. There were two of them actually, at fire service and at immigration. It appears they have gone through practically everything, medical, everything. They have done everything. All they are waiting for is a call. And then I think they will report at a training school or something to go and start training for a number of months. And then they qualify and they get an opportunity to serve. And normally, I'm told in the past that by the time you're done with the medicals and all of those things, it's only a few weeks, sometimes even days, before you are called and asked to pack your bag and baggage and come for training. But this one appears to be going on for a number of months. It appears to be going on for a number of months. So please, those who are working on it, I don't know who, but those who are working on it, please, if you can speed up a bit, so that Charles's nephew in Akosombo, who wants to join the Ghana Immigration Service, or Lisa's niece in Ejumako, who wants to join the Ghana Fire Service, will know when they are getting a job in there somewhere. I don't know when, but please, Mr. CUP, I would plead with you. I would plead with you that you would do what you can to deal with that issue. Let me quickly do the story on Valco, and I'll leave Sedina issues to Charles. He has been managing Sedina issues since last week. I don't have anything to say about that issue. There's a story on page 2 of the Ghanaian Point newspaper. Valco staff jubilate as Lands Minister clarifies company is not for sale. Assures government is seeking strategic investor. The story is on page 2 of the paper. I read excerpts of the paper and we get into the conversation. Workers of the Volta Aluminium Company, Valco, have welcomed assurances from the Minister of Lands and Natural Resources that a state-owned aluminium smelter is not being sold, describing the clarification as a major relief amid growing public speculation over the company's future. The Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, the Honorable Emmanuel Ama Kofi-Boa, has dismissed claims that Valco is being sold, assuring workers that government has no such intention. He made a disclosure when he met the management and staff of the organization on the 30th of July 2026, following the demonstration of some staff, and the story goes on and on and on. But there's an interesting part of that story. Honorable Amaboa explained that Valco is weighed down by more than $250 million in par debts. aging equipment, frequent breakdowns, and declining production, making it difficult for the company to operate sustainably. He said that government held a position that attracting an investor is the best path to modernize the plants, settle its debts, and create more jobs for Ghanaians. Me, I grew up in Tema, so I think I can speak fairly well to issues concerning Valco. And I'll put mine in a story. Anyone who grew up in Tema in the late 80s, early 90s would have had a family member, friend, whatever, working in some of these big companies that were dotted in and around Tema. So if you didn't have a family member working at a place like the Port, Gasem, Unilever, those days, Charles, what's the name of that fine hotel? Meridian Hotel. Meridian Hotel, or TDC, or TME. Then it was Valco. You knew someone who was working in one of these big Tema companies. And let me share my story. In 2009, the company was on the verge of... This is not the first time the company has been on the verge of collapse. In 2000, I recall this very well, the company was on the verge of collapse. There were a lot of guys, young guys that I knew at the time, the Tema boy that I am, who were not certain about their jobs. Today, those I know are very okay. In fact, they are living good. And Charles, they are not living good because of Valco. They built a lot of experiences there, working in Valco for many, many years, before 2009. Young people, some of them who did not even go to university after SS, they got opportunities to start as, I don't know their levels, but they started from somewhere and then they rose to a certain point, but they built experiences. So somewhere in 2009, Catalum in Qatar came to recruit. I remember this this story very well. They came to recruit, and they recruited a number of my friends. In those days, it wasn't fashionable to be told go and live and work in Qatar. It's not the Qatar you see today. At that time, they had not even won the bid to host a World Cup. And going to a place like Qatar, you didn't even have a direct flight from Accra to Doha in those days. So you had to route through somewhere else. But I'm glad to say that a number of my friends, on the back of experiences that they got working from there, and in those days, interestingly, Charles, I'm sure you remember, you know who the board chairman of VRA was at the time?
Yeah, who was that?
Dr. Charles Mensah.
Oh, okay.
That's the husband of the EC boss. Yeah. That man is a very big man, very influential man. Has been on several boards. Yes.
I remember.
A lot of friends that I know got an opportunity through Catalum because it was an aluminium smelting something. Today, some of them are still living and working in Qatar. Very well paid. Have invested in a lot of things in Tema. They can't detach from Tema. They go and come back to Tema. They own a lot of the properties you see around Mataiku, Afinya, and all of those communities. They've moved from the main Tema. What is the point I'm trying to make? People have worked very hard to get Valco to where it is. They have garnered a lot of experiences and are now even serving other countries. And those companies are growing. Why is it that a lot of companies in our part of the world, like Ghana, the moment you see the company starting with Ghana, na company negu.
And it's not just Valco.
Why?
It's even Tamale refinery.
Why? I don't
We're
understand.
hearing of the positive story now. Kwame, that's the point. The point is that we don't value our own. Once we start something here in this country, we allow it to collapse, and then we export labor outside. This story, as you are talking about, it brings back a lot of memories. I mean, nostalgic memories.
When I went to Qatar in 2022, I saw them. Charles,
Yeah, a lot of them. Yeah, a lot of my
where
friends
some
are
of
there.
them live in Qatar. CEOs in Ghana, they don't live
They don't
there.
live there. A lot of my friends, Gaji and Ku, I mean, I still communicate with
They
them.
are still there.
A lot of these folks used to work with the Valcos, the TUR, the Tamale refinery store, and all of that. But, you know, since the collapse of these companies, a lot of them have gone. But I should say that with the breath of air, the new breath of air that we are seeing pumped into Tema Oil Refinery, some of my folks are coming down into the country with regards to all that has been happening within the Gulf region. Some of them have been coming down, and I understand that TOR is to re-engage some of them. But what of Valco? Nothing can be said about this company. What I understand is that government is looking at getting a strategic investor into Valco.
Are you not tired of this?
But Kwame, what can you do? I mean, that's the
I
point.
heard Titus
That's the
Glover
point.
saying same.
Yes.
When he was the immediate CEO,
Yes.
before they moved him to
Yes.
Greater Accra Regional
Yes.
Minister, there was another COB before. I've forgotten his name.
The-
Also,
the-
cancer.
It's just the lack of the political will and commitment to do it. Otherwise, it is a good thing to look for strategic investor, to invest into the operations of Valco, because I mean this is the Volta Aluminium Company. Those days when we talk about Valco, Kwame, it was a big deal. It was one of the reasons why Tema is described as the industrial hub of Ghana. So if you have the likes of Valco, Tema Oil Refinery and Co. all collapsing, and it speaks to something. The lack of commitment and political will on the part of officialdom to ensure that we sustain and survive these companies for the development of the country, Kwame. Because Valco, yes, a lot of my family members were working at Valco. They were working there. And when we were done with senior secondary school, we thought that we were going to get some, what do you call it, like buja job be there, something to do to occupy our time.
Some of my
while
friends
we
who were
wait
older,
for our results.
in those days they were doing Form 1 to Form 5
Yes.
and Upper 6.
Yes.
Some of my friends, because I was little at the time, but some of my friends who lived in my neighborhood were older. They were going to do, I don't know how to call it, but like they'll go in the morning. They are not staff of Valco or any of these companies.
They are like
in Tema.
casual workers.
That's right. So they'll go in the morning, in the evening, by the time they come back, hey,
Master, they had something. And you see
and
those
then we'll
days,
go to casino. Comty One.
Casino.
Shout out to all my friends who grew up in Tema Comty One.
Yes.
We'll go there and go and buy.
Master,
And then there was a glamour bee over there.
what's the name? Oh, Charlie.
We'll go and buy some small
oh,
provisions and things.
Oh, towards the, what do you call it? The police station junction there.
Yeah. Where the Presby Church is in the
Yes,
corner over
yes,
there.
yes,
We'll go and buy some small things. Oh, Charlie.
Kwame, so years ago, Tema used to be Tema. Now nothing can be said of Tema.
Right now,
Even when you look at even the roads in Tema, it's all deteriorated. The Tema that you used to know, which is a plant city in the center of the world, is no longer so, in my estimation. That's not the Tema that we used to know. A lot of things have gone down the drain. Look at even the major roads. So, for instance, if you're here moving from Accra towards Tema, the industrial area, we call it double road. You get it? So there's Tema Street and then there's double road. The straight is the General Hospital road. And then the double road is the industrial area. Look at the roads. Look at from, say, Tema Tech area to the Valco roundabout. Look at that area. The whole place is so messed up and nothing seems to be working in Tema. So you see, it is, for me, it has always been the political commitment on the part of, officialdom to ensure that they are doing the right things. But you see, in a situation where a certain CEO has his own percentage in a certain deal within the company, people are brought in and they are brought in because of what they have done for the party to serve as a reward. The people find themselves in this position and they are just there to amass wealth for themselves. And so eventually you find the company suffer. And once the company suffer, eventually it would collapse. And when it collapses, it comes back to government. That government needs to find the resources to revive these companies. And in the case of Valco, it's been the situation that over the period they've tried to find a strategic investor to invest into the operations of Valco. It is not as though the investors are not there. Kwame,
The bills are $250 million.
you can imagine. You can imagine.
So if you are getting an investor, you are indirectly telling the investor, come and manage that loss.
Yeah.
And also find a way of generating profits. Who wants to start a business
That's like
on
in
negative
power,
250?
That's like in power generation.
And he mentioned power and so many other things, management, aging equipment, plenty things.
So for me, the aging equipment will be the thing. So if you are coming to invest into it, of course, the equipment they are obsolete now, and a lot of them have gone bad. So you would have to find a way of buying or purchasing new equipment to replace these old equipment. But if it is to do with power generation and all of that, is there no way government can sort of, absorb some of the costs just for the sake of reviving the company?
Which
so
money?
that if we...
Which money? Money no day like that, though,
Sorry.
Charles.
What you see? You
Money
can't
no day like that, though.
see in Africa. It is a sad development. It's very, very sad because we deliberately do this to ourselves. A lot of companies.
Sometimes I
do
feel
this
sad
to
for Kwame Nkrumah.
Yeah. The Ghana that he envisaged is not the Ghana we are.
I think he
living in.
put in too much effort, and those who have come after him,
They are just coming to enjoy from the
they didn't
effort
see
where
the
they
vision.
didn't plan.
Yeah, they didn't see the
Yeah.
vision, because ideally you're thinking he started and got to a point.
Yeah.
You take it to the next level. I come in, I take it to the next level. But it appears that a lot of things that he took to a certain level, they've gone back like 1,000 years.
I mean, which is why I have espoused the position that, you see, this national development agenda, we should push it forward. We should push it. You see, we are talking about the Constitution Review Commission, the cliche. that
You
government.
are running with political party manifestos. You are thinking of NDPC.
No, Kwame.
Charles, you two,
that is-
your vim is high, Papa.
No. I'm saying you can start somewhere. You and I, by the way, Kwame, your chicks are puffing out. Anyway, I wanted to say that before we started this conversation. The break has been good. You see, the point is that Kwame, I mean, in all seriousness, listen. If you have a plan, Kwame Nkrumah had what? 7 year? 7 year development plan.
Yeah, we saw
sort
it.
of. We saw all of those things. The documents are still there. You can see the plans, the things that he outlined.
The ones who
in them.
have 10,
And-
20 years plan, we don't see it though.
Kwame, which one? Which one is that?
I don't see.
There is none. What 10-year plan? What 20-year plan? We don't have. I'm even calling for a 3-year development plan. Let's just have a 3-year development plan and let's prioritize certain sectors of the economy, okay? And say that constitutionally every government is bound to continue what the previous government started. And Kwame, and see if we can get where we want to get. We will get there. But I mean, throughout this period, it's been manifesto upon manifesto. So this government comes into power, and the government is prioritizing what it has purposed itself to do for the people. So it is not looking at what a certain government started, because if you go ahead to complete what a certain government started, I mean, the glory will go to that past government, and that past government officials, of course, will be on big platforms defending the past government. We started it. Look at the Pokwasi issue. Oh yes, Mahama one started it, and then Akufo-Addo came to continue, and then those things will be there.
As if they are doing it with their money.
That's the point. They are not doing it with their money too. You see, but if you are bound by the Constitution, we are talking about all the recommendations that have been made by the Constitution Review Commission, and it is my position that if we allow this, that look, let's inculcate it into our Constitution. It shouldn't just be by word of mouth. Oh, government is a continuous process. Oh, government is a continuous. It's become a cliche. It's become overused. And so, who ties who to what? There's nothing like that. But if we have a plan, a national development plan, Kwame, we'll get to the destination where we want to get to. So that you don't have a government come into place and decide what it should do for the people. It is about what we want. It's not about what you want to give us. It is about the needs of the people. So if you know that within this particular point in time, or at this particular point in time, what is beneficial to the people is to provide access to electricity. Rural electrification project, what has happened of it? Kwame, up to now, there are a lot of communities within this country that do not have access to electrification, or electric, so to speak. You get it? But the point is that government is not minded. We are in parliament and we are doing the usual party politics. Okay, we have the numbers, and so this person from this political party, this opposition party, he was very loud when they were in government, and so will not grant access to some of the communities within his constituency, access to electric. So that what? It will cause disaffection for that person, and then eventually the people would vote against him. That's the kind of politics we play in this country. But if you have a policy document with clearly spelled out direction, that this is where Ghana is headed to, so any government that comes into power, we're looking at the SDGs and all of that, and the attainment of same. And so if a government is minded and you are bound by the Constitution, when you come into government, you are moved to do what the Constitution says. But the manifesto system for me has never helped us.
Were you the one I was listening to? If it wasn't here, then it was Accra. Where someone, I don't know whether it was a guest or one of the panel, says something like, when are we going to move to occupy Saglemi?
But then I'm sure it was on a different platform. Oh no,
because you mentioned needs.
Yes, Nanotu has been on that issue. So,
because you mentioned needs. So if the needs at that time and those needs have not changed 10 years down the line, because we started Saglem in 2016, 10 years down the line, we're still having conversations about rent and cost of living and all of that. And those buildings are still lying in the bush getting rotting. And 10 years down the line, there's not a single occupant at Saglemi.
It was Joffrey Okanse who said that.
Okay, 10 years down the line, we don't have a single occupant of Saglemi. It says a lot about us. We have spent $200 million.
Saglemi is gone.
We have spent $200 million on that thing. And this is there. There's not a single occupant. And the property is just withering away. Because there's no one in it. So there's very little maintenance, nothing. People are stealing the stuff in it and all of that. And we're not even having a conversation about it. And nobody cares. And we have sunk $200 million of our money into that project. And the building is just there.
Is that surprising? The buildings have even been raised up to a certain level. We sank a hoping how much? 50 million plus into a whole. Well, I mean, this is the country where we live in, Kwame. It is normal. For me,
people have collected their percentage.
Oh, let me advise you. don't ever do a piece of my mind on Saglemi.
Bejayo.
Ah.
One of the things
No, don't
that
do
I
it.
told myself.
It wouldn't happen.
Yes, I love to deal with the issues, raise the issues. But there are some things, as long as I continue to sit here, Bejai.
No, don't talk about it.
I
Don't
won't
talk
worry
about
myself,
Saglemi any longer.
Yeah.
You see?
Like a politician goes to chop money and I'm the one coming to sit here to shout and scream and shout and scream and shout and scream. Boy, I have children to take care of. Yeah, I spent a lot of time with my children in the last 2 weeks and yeah, I've seen that, Charlie.
Mommy, you just have to think about yourself. You see?
I need to think about
this is
myself.
what I've observed in this
I don't need to worry my head
This is
too
what I've
much about
observed
some
in this
things
country.
anymore.
Mami,
Yeah.
we say these things on this platform all the time. I have noticed that the kind of politics we practice now, it is individualistic in nature.
Hey, you are late too.
No, I'm not late.
You have now seen it.
No, I'm not late. I'm not late. So you see, it doesn't give the youth hope. It doesn't give the youth hope. And so for anyone listening to us at this point in time, the youth, if you think that to do the kind of dirty, the hatchet jobs you are doing for the various political parties is the way to go, I bet you will not benefit from it. Because we find a lot of people now, because of the fact that they did certain things for the party in opposition, and I'm not talking about NDC alone, I'm talking about various, in fact, it's been the two dominant political parties that have held, the leadership mantle, so to speak, in this country. So, i.e., MPP, NDC. See, if you think that if you are doing the dirty jobs for them and someday it would come to pay off, I'm telling you, you should think about something else. You should think something positive. Think about establishing a business for yourself. Because if you think about these political parties, they are just using you to do their dirty jobs. And someday when they come into power, their kids will be living lavishly up in the States and in the big countries, and they will be here. They will be amassing wealth for them. So, Kwame, over the weekend, I was having a conversation with a friend. And it appears those that we started with in terms of this job, you understand, some of them have gotten some political appointments here and there in the past administration, in this administration, and you talk
People
to them.
Are concerned about that.
It is no, Kwame. The point is that what is the purpose of we practicing?
They are
politics?
working. They are being paid. They are taking care of their families. I don't care.
You want me to say stuff here? I don't want to say things here.
They are working. They are taking care of their families.
I'll not say it because you see,
that's why I've never mentioned it here.
This very thing you are saying, Kwame, we are sitting. So like someone will say, "Hi."
So they should go and look for jobs on the sea, or they should go and look for jobs in the forest.
I have not said so.
They have gotten the jobs. They are paid well.
What people are
benefiting
from,
they should benefit.
You let me leave it at that.
Those who are criticizing, let them come to power tomorrow.
So you understand the point I'm making, Kwame. You understand the point I'm making. It is about individuals. We have become so selfish, so self-centered. We are not thinking about the state.
Let me tell you a story to wrap up. This weekend, I went for my big cousin's graduation. He was graduating with a PhD.
Okay.
So we went to Sendia. We had to go and see him. I saw some friends, old friends from the university, undergrad days. And I had not seen them in many years. Some of them I used to engage every now and then. And Charlie, things were not...
Yeah,
like one of them told me point blank, Charlie, he took a very bold decision to associate himself with somebody. Luckily, the person is in power.
And the person is a big political person.
Luckily, the person is in power. That's all I would say. But that's all I would say. When he told me where he's working now, I was like, that's right. That's right. I mean, he was blunt enough to tell me no chance ever was he going to get a job at that kind of institution if it wasn't for this big man.
Yes,
Charlie, everybody's thinking of himself.
It is true.
So if you want to come and carry the whole world's problem on your head, Mejai. Let me do some stories quickly from the Class FM online portal. We'll go for a break. We'll come back to do a piece of my mind. NYA to employ the youth through communal cybersecurity education is here. Please assure applicants of 2025-2026 recruitment will continue in batches until 2028. Judges must uphold integrity and conscience in justice delivery. Apostle Eric Nyamiche urges. Release said Natamaklo immediately. Volta speaks. Boy. Arabic, Chinese not compulsory under revised curriculum. Education Ministry says so. An explosion may have triggered stampede at sold out Shatterfest UK 2026, according to Concert Goa. UK Shatterfest, our hearts go out to injured. Shatawale reacts to cancelled tragic events. Akwaba UK temporarily pauses after stampede. It was all about that program over the weekend. There are stories in the world of business, showbiz, sports, and entertainment. So make your way to the Class FM online portal and go familiarize yourself with all of these stories. It's now time to celebrate you with a very special person because it is birthday time. Kindly wish my granddaughter Linda Usua Kunama a happy belated birthday. I wish her all the best in life as she awaits her senior high school results. May the heavens pour blessings upon her. Auntie Abba, I wish you well as well, and I'm sure if she does well in the exam, we would all be celebrating her. So happy birthday to you, young lady Linda Usua Kunama, as you celebrate those one. Okay, those one says, good morning, Kwame, and welcome back. Happy belated birthday to Mr. Yawan Pofwankra. Wishing him God's protection and long life. Okay, so Yawan Pofwankra is the CEO or the Director General of the National Sports Authority. His birthday was yesterday, and we did our best to celebrate him. So happy birthday to you, Yao, as you celebrate your birthday on this day. Let me also take the opportunity to celebrate a number of friends who were born on this day. To my brother William Iza, today is your birthday. Happy birthday to you. These days you're domiciled in the United States. God bless you wherever you are in the States, of course. My brother Isaac Kopnamu, you're also celebrating your birthday today. Happy birthday to you. To another brother, Tony Adam J, these days you're also domiciled in the United States. Happy birthday to you. Madame Gertrude Ofosu, today is another 365. I say happy birthday to you as well. To you, Papa Kojo Adebi, my friend from primary school. Yeah, we still keep in touch. Happy birthday to you on this very special day. To you, Frank Odrakwa, my mate from high school. Today is your birthday. Happy birthday to you. And to you, Mr. Enoch from Pong, Seth, Chumisi, Amwa, and Japheth Newton. You're all celebrating your birthdays today. Madame Abna Jumo, Cyril Spew, Kwanzaa. All of you are celebrating your birthdays today. Happy birthday to you.
I'm Dr. Vanessa Appiah, and this is Medical Minutes. Your kidneys filter 180 litres of blood every single day. They regulate blood pressure, remove waste, balance fluids, and produce hormones essential for bone and blood health. And like high blood pressure and diabetes, kidney disease is largely silent. By the time you feel it, significant damage is often already done. So what damages kidneys the most? Uncontrolled high blood pressure and uncontrolled diabetes are the two leading causes of kidney failure in Ghana. The damage builds over years with no symptoms. Regular painkillers, ibuprofen and diclofenac, taken daily for chronic pain, can damage kidney tissue over time. Some herbal preparations that contain compounds that are directly toxic to the kidneys can also cause problems. If you are taking either regularly, please speak to a doctor about safer long-term options. Warning signs to act on: swollen ankles or face, especially in the morning; foamy urine, this is protein leaking where it should not be; reduced urine output, fatigue that will not lift, blood pressure that is difficult to control. Protect them now. Control your blood pressure and blood sugar. These are the two most important steps. Drink at least 2 litres of water daily. Ask for a creatinine or eGFR blood test as part of your annual health check, especially if you have hypertension or diabetes. You cannot feel your kidneys working, but you will feel it when they stop. Act now while there is still everything to protect. I'm Dr. Vanessa Appiah, CEO of the Accra London Health Centre. Your well-being matters.
Hello?
Charlie, I'm at the library. Why do you keep calling me?
Wait, question. What's the capital of Burkina Faso?
Ouagadougou. Bye.
Wait. Which planet is the hottest in the solar system?
Venus. Charlie, why all these questions?
See, I'm playing the MTN Swipe and Win promo. I might cash out some cool 1,000 Ghana cedis today.
Hey, 1,000 cedis. Charlie, what's the next question?
Join the MTN Swipe and Win promo today. Answer trivia, earn points, and stand a chance to win 1,000 Ghana cedis every day. Weekly cash of 1,000, 2,000, or 3,000 Ghana cedis. A brand new Hyundai Texan in the first 3 months, and the ultimate grand prize of 500,000 Ghana cedis. Recharge your account to qualify for the daily draws. To join, visit swipeandwinpromo.mtn.com.gh. Download the My MTN app or dial *5030#. This promo is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas Lottery platform. TNCs apply.
MTN.
Class 91.3.
This is Class 91.3.
Thus is Class 91.3, and thus is A Piece of My Mind, which is a segment of the show where I share my thoughts on a subject and also give you an opportunity for you to share your thoughts as well. You can do this via multiple ways. On our WhatsApp platform, we're streaming live. On our socials, Class 913 on Facebook, on WhatsApp. You can send us a message on 0500,202, and then when the phone lines are activated, you can give me a call on 0302 208080. 0302 208080. The conversations on national developments will not go away, and this morning I'm going to be coming your way with another of such. This morning, on my way to work, I was listening to a sister radio station. That's the BBC. I listen to the BBC a lot just to catch up with a lot of things happening all over the world when I wake up. What struck me about the news bulletin, it was somewhere around 4, was elections that were coming up in Zambia. I'm sure you're wondering where this is going. Zambia will be having an elections in the coming weeks. Normally, when you have conversations about elections in Africa, it is almost impossible not to have a conversation about corruption in any way or form. It is almost impossible. All the other ones, it looks like it's normal service, standard of living, cost of living, construction, roads, infrastructure. Those things appear to be an everyday conversation when it comes to elections in our part of the world. But it's very rare to have an election in our part of the world and there's no conversation on corruption. And Zambia is a country that I've read fairly well. This is a country that had independence in 1964, with Kenneth Kaunda leading the country for up to 27 years. He left in 1991. Frederick Chiluba came in, booted out as a result of corruption. The likes of Michael Sata and so many others, Edgar Lungu and all of that, have come in on the back of dealing with us, only for them to come in and have made it worse. So a few years ago, Zambians took a decision to vote for an individual who had been campaigning and contesting to lead the country for 20 years. His name was Hakainde Hichilema. He started contesting as far back as 2006 or so, until finally he won in the last presidential election that was held. Now, this was a billionaire. He's the richest man in Zambia. And he's not made his money from government jobs, which is surprising for rich people in our part of the world. It's very surprising that he had not made his money from government jobs. He had made his money by going to school, studying and leaving the University of Birmingham, and starting business on his own. He owns probably one of the largest ranches in Africa. He has a company that provides milk and butter and all of those things. And he's invested into so many other areas as well. So he's a very rich man. What I found very amusing about the report I was listening to on BBC this morning was that the opposition leader in Zambia is not campaigning against a corrupt leader. He never said in an interview that he granted the BBC that Zambians should vote Hakainde Hichilema out because he was corrupt. But he only said he was not delivering on the promises he made. Now, there was a very interesting question that was posed to him by the BBC presenter. The opposition leader today was part of Edgar Lungu's government, who was booted out in the last 2 elections. When he was leaving, or when their party was exiting, inflation was as high as 24%. He claims he wants to come in and do things differently in Zambia. Guess what the inflation rate is in Zambia as we speak? 6.5. When you were leaving, it was 24. Someone has brought it to 6.5. You see the person is not performing. And in almost all the other areas that he says that he's going to improve, I'm not campaigning for him, but I'm sure you are following the trajectory. Almost all the other areas that he claims he wants to do better, the current government appears to have done better than when he was a minister serving under Edgar Lungu. What is the point I want to raise here? It is very rare that a conversation on an election in Africa is not based on corruption. So there are still some decent people out there on the continent who are working very hard, making their own money, probably before getting into politics and trying to serve. But sadly, what do we see here? What do we observe here? In your lifetime, what have you seen? What have you observed? People who have sometimes just left school, zero work experience anywhere. They control all the money here. People who have only found their way into politics. Before they went into politics, they live in the same neighborhoods with you. They are your friends. They are your family people. They had next to nothing. But having been into politics in Ghana in the last 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, they appear to own the whole Ghana. Where have they made the money from? When was the last time there was a conversation on an election in Ghana and there was no focus on corruption? One party accusing the other of corruption-related activities. And it's not just a case of an accusation. The allegations are laid bare, and most of them turn out to be true. People just come in and loot and loot and loot and loot without doing very little as far as improving the standards of living of the people are concerned. These are the people who mount platforms and tell you that they are coming in to serve you. But what do you see? This morning when I was reviewing the newspapers, you saw the stories that I picked. They were all pretty much in line with this conversation that I was going to have. Because it's all about an opportunity to serve and an opportunity to change the lives of the people. Whether we're going to be doing well at the university level and coming out with people to land jobs and take the economy to the next level is going to come out from who we are churning out as graduates. But what is the level of funding that is going into these universities? A lot of these funds have ended up in people's pockets. Our young men who want to serve in the security agencies, a lot of them, trust me, are not interested in working for fire service. They are not interested in working for immigration or Ghana police service. They wish that they found themselves doing something else. But as a result of leaving school and having no jobs, they don't have any other option than to go there. We have had leaders who have come in to literally loot. Instead of investing all of these same funds into opportunities for you and me, we barely get little opportunities. $200 million has been sunk into Saglemi so that somebody like you and me can get an opportunity to lay our head somewhere. That building is rotting away, yet no one is being held accountable for that nonsense. These are the kind of leaders we elect here to take decisions that would influence your life and to take decisions that would influence my life. At least I'm happy to report that in Zambia, the current president is not being accused of being corrupt. But he's not meeting certain standards that he promised. Here, it is almost impossible. Almost impossible. Why? Because it's a daily thing. You and I see it. But some of us, by virtue of the fact that we are so aligned to our political parties, even when it is clear to everyone that there is thievery and there is corruption, correct. Because you get to benefits. And I don't blame you. We live in an environment where it is almost impossible to make things happen for yourself. Chances are that if you are not depending on someone, if you don't know someone, if you're not depending on someone, opportunities are very limited. Ask that your friend who is leaving university, and a lot of them are calling you and asking you, Charlie, you go fee sort me. A lot of them are calling you and asking you for pittance. Sometimes they've stayed at home for a year, 2 years, 3 years. They have not found jobs. So they are calling you and asking, Charlie, you go fee send me some coins. A lot of our young people have gone into betting because there are very little opportunities for them to go to the next level. You would say it is wrong. But when you wake up and you are hungry, you'd understand why some of them have gone into that industry. And I'm not here with the greatest of respect. I'm not here pushing them to go into this. Because someone would also argue, then maybe somebody should go and steal. Then maybe somebody should go into prostitution and all of that. They are all wrong. I admit that. They are all wrong. But when people are pushed because of very little opportunities, people are desperate. They are willing to do anything, even when they are wrong. Even when they are wrong. It is almost impossible for everything to be provided. But what we would want to see is governance where the people get to benefit. What we want to see is governance where people see that at least we are making a transition from one point to the other. I've seen some of you send me messages of your experiences with Valco and your times in Tema and all of that, and how companies in those enclaves were doing very, very well, and how many of them are not performing today. How did we get there? We appear to be on a decline rather than an ascent. Especially for the older generation. You know what you experienced. The other day we had an interview with Mr. Kwame Dwomoh-Agyemang, and he was telling us a very funny story. In their days at the university, they were going on demonstration because of chicken and egg. They were not paying school fees. They were living large. For those of you who are familiar with the old halls at Legon, Saba, Legon Hall, Volta, Commonwealth. So you see that there is a main room and then you see that there is an inner room. So the inner room was like your bedroom in those days. And the main room, where today there are 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 people sleeping there, was like your hall as a university student. Look at the level of retrogression. Look at our roots. We are paying, Charles, we are still paying that joke called root stabilization levy. We are still paying that joke. Yes, look at our roots. Yes, look at our roots. This young man at Tor is doing some great stuff there. Lawyer Combat. At least he's been able to turn around a faltering company. But can we say that for many others? Until we all put our hands to the wheel and take our developmental conversation to the next level, I guarantee you and I will be where we are. If you want to argue with me on this, look at the area you live. For those of you who have lived in that same community for 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, 30 years, and look at the level of development in that same area. You have voted like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times in those same areas. What has been the change in that particular community? Yet you keep voting. Yet they come and tell you and they come and promise you a lot of things. What are the changes that you have seen? Tell me. I'm sure you yourself, you are shocked. Growing up, I saw a community like Akweteman and Niboy Town. Still, sir. Jolie is getting worse. I can't get to buy my Dimples meat pie. Now the place is just a flat prone area. Kutubabi Alajo pick from Newtown, sir, and Sisai. As for my tema, it is Dukadaya. To the extent that today, Kwame Nkrumah's tema is flooding. Kwame Nkrumah's tema, go to Tema Committee 5 today. It is flooding. Kwame Nkrumah's tema. Well-planned city like Tema. Because one or two people who are powerful and mighty have decided to all go and build at a particular place that is blocking the path of the Chimu. Yet we have leaders. Yet we have leadership. Where are we going? Where are we going? Can our leaders do more? Especially the things that they themselves promise. Can we experience that? If they'll do about 50% of the things that they promise every 4 years, you and I would not be here. But sadly, it is what it is. And we are where we are. President Mahama has another 2 years and 4 months, thereabouts. He's not coming for any third term. Sleep. And he's also very much aware that in the final year of 2028, the focus is going to be on elections-related stuff. So the act time is now and next year. The remaining 4 months or 5 months and 2027. Because 2028 will be all about the elections and what his government would have done. I will push him to do more. That's all I can do. I will push him and his administration to do more because we have voted for him. He had over 57% of the votes, if I recall. So he's been given a very strong mandate to deliver. He cannot disappoint. He cannot. We can't be going on the same tangent of voting for leaders who promise heaven. I would rather prefer a leader who under promises and over delivers than prefer a leader who promises and is not able to deliver. May we ever get to the level in Zambia where the sitting president is not accused of being corrupt but failing to deliver on a number of policies where even the indicators say he has performed better than the previous government under Edgar Lungu. May we ever get there. So we are going to be having an election in 2028, and then maybe the conversation will be maybe inflation was 53% when the MPP was leaving. It is now 3%, and the MPP will come back and say that the 3% is poor because they can bring it to 1. Then we know we are making progress, and they will be able to do it, so it wouldn't just be math. May we ever get there. Until then, yeah, sadly, it is what it is. We will be where we are. Someday, we will get there. Okay, so let me activate the phone lines. 030208080. Give me a call and share those thoughts with me. Or find us on our socials, Class 913 Facebook, Class 913 on X. Or find us on our Facebook platform, streaming live there. Give me a call on 030208080. Quite a number of messages coming from you. I would love to hear from you on the telephone as well. And then we'll take all of those conversations from there. Okay, let me take these messages as I await your calls with respect to this one. Okay, this one is coming from Albi. Okay, Albi, you say that, Kwame, good morning and glad to hear your voice once again. Charles did a great job on your behalf. Well, he always does a great job, and we appreciate that you support us as well. You see, please, online driving apps, and you mentioned a number of these companies are killing we drivers with their high commission. Please kindly help us write to the president for them to reduce it. We are really suffering. Thanks. Albie, you send us one. Okay. My understanding of the app hailing devices, my understanding of how it operates is that you guys pay a percentage to the company. The last time I heard, it was between 25 or 30% or something like that you guys pay as commission. If you can help me, I appreciate. Is it negotiated or is it just imposed on you? Maybe that would help us take the conversation to another level. Is it just that when you want to sign up to work for any one of them, is it just that you join and then you are told your commissions, you pay 20% or 30% or 40%, and it's a ticket or leave it situation? If you can come back again and then we can situate the conversation. Good morning, Kwame. MPP have their own dictionary in which the mean review is cancellation. 17 cities is more competent than 10 cities to the dollar. The competence has revived Tor. You go on to say, okay, let me go over to the phone lines. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Okay, 0302208080, 0302208080. Hello, good morning. Okay, I can't seem to hear our callers, but keep trying. 0302208080, 03022080. Master Kofi, if you are listening to us, come and help us with the telephone lines. Maybe something has gone wrong somewhere, but you can still keep trying or send us a message on our WhatsApp number 0500,202 0500,202. Okay, Adam Hacker, you send me a message and you say that the service fee is imposed. Oof. So it cannot be negotiated. So is a take it or leave it? I see. So what if all of you also decide that you won't take the offer? Of course, I can understand. It may not work because there are some people who need the money. So even if they are charging 50%, they will still do it. But I want to believe that there should be a way out of it if this is how the service works. Adam tells me that the fee is imposed. So you wake up one day and they want to charge 20%, 35%, 40%, and there's nothing you guys can do about it. Oh, that's most unfortunate. Okay, let me try the phone lines again. Hello, good morning. Okay, I can't seem to hear anything, but keep trying. 0302208080. Okay, hello, good morning. Hello. Okay, let me try one more time. 0302208080, 0302208080. Hopefully we'll be able to get through to this one, or you can send me a message on 0500,202 0500,202, or find us on our socials. We're streaming live on Facebook, class 913. Okay, can we try again? Okay, so you let me take some messages as we sort out the phone lines. Good morning, Kwame. Welcome back. You have just said my mind. I think Tema West needs NDC and they need MPP and NDC anymore. They just come for our votes and go back to sleep. Okay, you say okay. So you say they don't need your votes anymore. Okay, so let me try the phone lines and see. Hello, good morning. Oh, I lost the caller. Charles. If you can check the phone lines for me, let's try this time around and see if it will work. 0302208080. Hello, good morning.
Kwame, here, Dave.
Dave, go ahead.
Yeah, Kwame, is it democracy in Africa? It starts at Nkrumah time, and they overthrow Nkrumah in our country. And after Nkrumah, we start it again. What Matt Taylor say, our president is our commander of the army. If you see, they command the power from the armies now, so everybody is doing politics if the army say. So how is the democratic helping us now? Because federal rule, we say we share blood. That's why now we come down. And the democratic ruling too is more than the blood sharing say. Because the democracy came now, still corruption is going on. Laws are not working. If they come power, the soldiers join them. Now soldiers are politicians, police are politicians. Are you not seeing like that in our country? And make things difficult. Laws are not working, Kwame.
Dave, I appreciate you calling. 0302208080. You can also call me and share your thoughts. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning. Your name and where you're calling from?
Yeah, my name is Seth. I'm calling from Ajekojo.
Seth, go ahead.
Mr. Kwame, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Now, you came with a certain light. You were in charge to debate because you bring this thing from outside. That is why it happened like that. Yeah, Mr. Kwame, you say the influence. I know you in charge. You always influence us. It is not on the bad side. If it is a bad side, we will call it corruption. But it is not on the bad side. It is a good side. This country must be developed. Mr. Kwame, you are raising a concern issue concerning about development, but I'm realizing that things are not going well. Government cannot tell us that they don't have money to tool in VACO and other state institutions. But the problem the government is having is that those who they make as a governing body on those institutions have a certain bad influence. That is our problem. Because all the state institutions you can mention today, it is a workers' labor. Senate is having a larger share in those state institutions. But when they appoint some people as a governing body of those decision making from those things there, their personal interest is overriding the interest of the state. That is why we are not seeing the progress of the state. I will leave it for that.
I appreciate you calling, Seth. 0302208080. Hello, good morning.
Welcome back, my brother.
Eben, thank you. Go ahead.
Enjoy your leave. Hello.
Eben, I can hear you. Go ahead.
I hope you enjoy your leave.
We managed it like that.
In Ghana, there we are all managers, so let's take it too.
I tell you.
As I've been telling you, follow who know road, okay? So that whenever you go on leave, you won't manage your leave, okay?
I hear you.
Anyway, greetings to your friend Honorable Agbo and Honorable Ashimo. You see, my brother, I quite agree with you, Pepe, and also the guy that just left right there. You see, government cannot tell us there is no money. I've been saying the only thing government cannot do is to just change my wife Doris to be you, Kwame. Okay? So anything at all government want to do to help the masses, it's done there. But it's all because of the misappropriation. That is why each and every time I continue to pray this government. That a government came into power 18 to 19 months down the line. We haven't heard anything compared to what we witnessed. One day, one scandal. So I'll plead with the government that government have money. They should do things that the masses will praise them each and every time. Because here is the case. If you compare this democracy, as we all know that democracy is very expensive, that we are seeing, the corruption is even massive than when we are having military regime. That is why at times some of we are calling that word. If this is the way democracy will be given us, then we should go back to the military. So that because we are not this thing. We all say government democracy is very expensive, and now 32 years as our young democracy is, we are not even seeing anything. We are here saying Ghana is gateway to Africa here and there, and say we are still lucky. Meanwhile, just look at Rwanda and others whom just recently look at how they are performing. So please, Mr. President, you can do better. Have a good morning.
Have a good morning. Thank you very much, Eben, for calling 0302208080. You give me a call and share your thoughts with me. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Bro Kwame.
Yes, good morning. Your name and where you're calling from?
Yeah, my name is Ima, calling from Mamomole.
Emmanuel, go ahead.
Yeah, let me extend my warmest greetings to Philip Achiga of Chobu constituency. He's going for the youth organizer. So when the time is due, please let's give him the nod so that he also bring his experience on board for Chobu constituency. Thank you. Brother Kwame, I would like to talk about the Attorney General. Godfrey Dame, sorry, the former Attorney General, sorry.
What has he done?
Yes, about this Sedinationus appeal, what do you call it? Her appeal issues, which is trending currently.
Go ahead, I'm listening.
Okay. Godfrey Dame saying that he wasn't aware about her lawyers filing for the appeal in 2024. Brother Kwame, my goodness, I am really shocked. My brother, all jokes aside, all politics aside, an Attorney General of a state is telling us today that he wasn't aware when her lawyers filed for appeal at the appeals court. Godfrey Dame, you see, this shows clearly, my brother, that during MPP's era, they were just persecuting people. An example is like Atufosin and others. Even if I have to throw back, way back in the days of former President Kufuor, Satuchi Kata, and look at the people we are entrusting the safety of this country into their hands. Godfrey Dame, it's a shame.
Okay, I appreciate you calling. 0302208080, 0302208080. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning. Your name and where you're calling from?
My name is Randy from Maduna.
Randy, can you speak up a bit for me?
Okay, the National Development Commission Authority or whatever, is there a political office?
It is not supposed to be.
So why are they not aligning the National Development Plan into these political parties, into their manifesto? Because it looks like it's just an empty office. I'm sure they are not being paid by taxpayers. If they are not being paid by Ghanaians, I don't have a problem with it.
They are paid by the taxpayer.
Do they have social media account that maybe they update that? Oh, this is the plan. This is the a plan we have for the next 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years or something like that. Or it's just an office. I mean, what is happening? We are seeing National Development Plan or Commission or whatever, a whole office that's supposed to have a plan for the nation to develop. No update. What's their social media account? Do they have?
I haven't seen it, to be honest.
What has been the communication? What are the plans that they can put out there that will say, okay, this is the plan we have. Maybe probably we don't have a leader that can align with that plan. What are we doing? And the person there is not even ashamed that, no, I'm not doing anything, but I'm being paid. Let me resign. They are not being ashamed. They are just an idiot occupying offices, taking money for nothing done. And we are saying we want to develop. If I get a clinic job
Well, Randy, what I can tell you is that the last two, Dr. Nimoy Thompson was hired by President Mahama when President Mahama left. The president hired Professor Stephen Adai, if I recall, and then Mahama has come back again, and he's brought Dr. Nimoy Thompson back. That's how they work. I don't know if that serves as well. We'll take a few more calls and we'll wrap up this segment of the show. 0302208080, 0302208080. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Kwame. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, man. Son, yourself?
By grace, except we miss you, and I know you have a little rest during your leave.
We managed like that.
Anyway, we keep managing. Kwame, talking about democracy this morning. I want to take a bite on the rule of law and the role of the judiciary in this country. Isn't it amazing that a whole attorney general wasn't aware of applications being filed at the court? But I'm not surprised because Godfrey Dame was the luckiest attorney general we ever had. Why? This is the only guy, anytime he goes to court and lose the case, they have to change the judges and he will win the next one. At times, they say when a frog dies, then you see its real length. Now that he hasn't got a state power, I want to see how many cases he's going to win based on the merit of his knowledge of the law. See, I don't know. I am not a lawyer, so I don't want to be one, and I'm not threatening to be one. When you are not found guilty or if there's a doubt in your guilt, the judges have nothing but to let you go. And then you should be proven without or beyond reasonable doubts. Let's allow the judges to do their work. Why the NPP folks are insulting the judges? I believe the judges themselves, they will learn lesson that their darling boys are now insulting them. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you very much for calling. My brother from Mataiku. You can also call me on 0302208080, 0302208080. Give me a call and share those very passionate thoughts with me, or send me a message on WhatsApp on 0500,000 202, 0500,000 Give me a call on 0302208080, 0302208080. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Uncle Kwame.
Yes, good morning. Your name and where you're calling from?
I'm Kwame Mayor. I'm calling from Dodoa.
Mayor, go ahead.
I thought I wouldn't have spoken to you before you closed. Democracy, democracy. The enemy to Africa, the enemy to human development. Kwame, I wanted to say something so specific. Something is going on about it's as if you guys are not talking about it. These Fulani people that are entering into our country, bite by bite, passing through our borders into the country, what is the democracy government of the day doing about it? These are the same people that are causing insurgency and insecurity all over Africa. And they have started finding their ways through Ghana. What are we doing about it? It's because of democracy, so we should allow somebody who has no paper, who has no document, who has no business to come and just stay here. When they get in here, they just move about, begging here and there. And now when you go to some places like Cycle, Abosoka and Co., they are just flooding the place. What's the interior minister doing about it? What are we doing about it? Are we waiting for a time bomb to explode? Kwame. And it's as if the whole media is quiet about this issue. Nobody cares. Even the president himself is silent. What are we doing, Kwame?
Okay, Mayor, thank you very much for drawing our attention to this. I remember a couple of months ago, the Ghana Immigration Service went on, an arresting spree of a sort, where they were, arresting all of these illegal immigrants here. I don't know what happened to that particular project that they started, but I still see them. I still see all of these Fulani people around, walking around. I don't know who's checking them. Elsewhere, you can't just be doing all of that. But, well, it looks like they're happening. And they are all over the place. Okay. 0302208080. We'll take a few more calls. 0302208080. 0302208080. Okay, let me read out some of your messages that have come in. Okay, this one is coming from Juliet in Kaswa. You see, great to hear your voice, Kwame. Oh, Juliet, great to know that you're also listening to us every single day. I appreciate you. This one says, good morning, Kwame. Welcome back. I'm Bismarck from Adenta, newly gone. To be honest with you, my brother, these online applications are seriously hitting us with their high commissions, and we've complained so many times, but nothing seems to be done about it. But I strongly believe that through this your channel, something better can be achieved, so please help us. We started with Charles last week, and he promised he would deal with the issue this week, and we really appreciate if you do same this week. The uphailing conversations, it looks like that is also coming up. As for the politicians, forget them. We'll focus on people like you who need help. They don't need help. So we'll definitely discuss it. Adenta Bismarck in newly gone. We'll focus on this at some point this week. Probably anywhere from tomorrow going, we'll focus on this issue. Because I'm told by Adam that the commission is fixed. So you're doing, let's say, 30%, 25%, whatever percentage, and you can't negotiate it with the uphailing company. I don't know why that is the case. Kwame, your story is very true about Valco. I'm privy to that. My uncle is still in Qatar. Nelly from Michelle Camp. Oh, I see. Kwame, democracy is what is killing Ghana and Africa. And for that matter, you see, the military government would only be our way out as far as development is concerned. Okay, I respect your opinion. SK Intema says, Kwame, last weekend I traveled to the Jasekan municipality and I realized Ghana is indeed not just Accra. The level of underdevelopment across the place, and these people keep on voting in a certain party, amazes me. I'm sad the sports minister, the Honorable Kofi Adams, could gracefully allocate millions of dollars for the Black Stars and the World Cup when his natives are living in abject poverty. Okay, I know that area fairly well. Descending from Hohoi, and then you are going to Akpafu areas, Likbelolobi, and then you descend down there, and then you are going to Jasika and Buem and those areas. Okay, this is a local speaking, so obviously maybe they'll take it more seriously. Good morning, Kwame. You talking of Valco this morning brings back a lot of memories. I grew up with my uncle in Committee 4, right? I just sent the GTP Park, and my uncle was working with Valco for 36 years. It was a pride referred to as his father worked at Valco. Even when I go to school, Republic Road, my teachers would request I bring them Valco bread. We could have a number of thus huge American fridges, ice chests. It goes on and on and on. My brother, you see, your brother is also in Qatar from Valco. Oh, I see. I knew Valco would go down when the government during President Kufuor took charge of the company from Kaiser. The only way is to give it to investors. Tor is back. Why can't Valco also be back within that same period? Abdul from Sun City. Abdul, for those of us who grew up in Tema, we have a lot of stories to tell. It's just sad the way things are the way they are. Okay, I know you are just teasing me. You say the holiday is over, Kwame. You are back in the building. Okay. Okay, Davisana sends me a message and says, EP Kwame, good to see you. And good to have you back. Hope you rested well. I managed. Kwame, the most important thing is that Tor has been revived. It is no mean achievements. Definitely the good leadership in place now will steer Tor to greater heights. Davisana, I appreciate you always for sending us those messages. This one says, I want to wish my womb opener. Hey, Charlie, this is another new one I'm hearing. Womb opener. So that's like the first child, I guess. Okay. Yes, I hear first fruits, but I've not heard this one. Womb opener. Ish. The thing over me. Womb opener. Jason, a farting crying edunum, a glorious happy birthday. He's 11 years today. I pray for God's divine grace and protection over his life. May he live to be the person God has destined him to be in Jesus' name. Amen. This one is coming from your mom, your dad, and your brothers. Hey, womb opener. I like that one. Eben, you called earlier on. You say, good morning. I also think that local languages should be the focus at basic level. Our children must know their mother tongue. The French and Chinese should be ignored, period. And you say greetings to the Honorable Chief of Staff, the Honorable Peter Akwesi Mensah of Tema Shipyard, and the Honorable MC Agbo of Ghana East. Okay, that's my MC too. It's not only your MC. There's one. Hey, Teacher Kujo, your messages are too long. If you can make it very brief for me. Kwame, the point the guy raised about illegal immigration is serious because the Nigerians and Malians have taken over the Okada business and we are looking on and doing nothing. Mark in Accra, Newtown, you send this one. Okay, you're still live on Class 91.3 FM. We're going to be starting the conversations at exactly 8:30. But let me do a quick break. One of our guests is already in. Let me do a quick break. And then when we return, we will continue with the conversations in studio. Remember, you're still live on Class 91.3 FM. issues to do with the Supreme Court ruling that came out somewhere last week concerning the party delegate system. I saw a lot of people celebrating when the ruling came out. Now, maybe even if you don't have money like me, you can contest. You don't need to go and pay any delegate any money. It was one of the things I've been praying for, and my prayers have been answered. So now I'm thinking of going to contest for my hometown or Domekwabinya. If I have, now I don't need too much money to go and buy fridges for delegates and add 5,000. I don't have that kind of money. Controversy over Sedna Tinu Tamaklo's acquittal and discharge is also going to be on our plate. And Supreme Court affirms AG's authority to discontinue prosecutions initiated by the OSP. This morning, I have two friends in the studio. Faisal Banjili is with the MPP Communications team. He joins us in the studio. Faisal, good morning. Good to see you.
Good morning.
And then I also do have...
It's been a while.
Yeah, I went for some small break.
That's
Charlie,
okay.
Everybody needed a rest.
You need it once in a while.
Yeah, once in a while. Yes. Yeah, I just try to sleep, but you can't even sleep.
Yeah.
With all of these Pharisees running around you every day.
Yes.
They don't see me that often.
Yes.
Because I leave home at dawn. So by the time they wake up, I'm gone.
It's not
so
easy.
For the elder one, it was like, when she saw me the first day, then the second day, she was like, Dad, why are you home? I felt so bad. I felt so bad. Like, because by the time she wakes up, I'm gone. Yeah. As for the second one, she wasn't even bothered.
Yes.
She was just.
So you have 2 kids?
Yes, 2 girls.
Oh, I have 4 boys. Oh. Still counting.
Still counting.
Yeah, absolutely.
that one has given me energy. Still counting.
4 strong boys.
My lawyer has 6 boys.
6 boys.
Look, he's sitting behind you. He has 6 boys.
Well, I think I'll overtake him anytime soon.
You want to overtake him?
Oh, but I'm sure with 1 wife, I'm entitled to 4. I'm entitled to 4.
The one is okay.
So, assuming all of them were supposed to give birth to, were blessed with 4 kids, that would be 16. But that would have been kind of 14 short of my dad.
Your dad did how many?
30. We're 30.
That is where I introduced Emmanuel. If you want to do that kind of number today, you work 26 hours a day to take care of 3 children. My granddad, my mom's father, did 23.
Yeah.
And I was like,
that's a lot.
That time you can't do it today.
Yeah.
But I know even these days, once in a while you hear. But it's more to do with the rich people, though. Once in a while, you hear some rich man with some 15 children.
In Ghana, if you are not rich, you can't practice polygamy. Yes, I mean, people
will take care of them?
Give you all the excuses. But if you are rich, they say, you can manage. But, I think that children are a blessing from the good Lord. So when they come, you have to take care of them.
I've heard that before.
Yeah.
That when they come, God will provide them money.
God will provide.
Okay, I don't know how many
with some hard work
or
and
he's
prayer.
thinking of having. But I've heard that before, that the moment the children start coming, God has a way of providing. So we'll see. Ima is from the camp of the NDC. Ima Jorobon has joined us for the very first time. Ima, good to see you. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Kwame.
Great.
Let me say that this is not the first time, rather. This is the second time, but this is the
we
first
have met.
time. No, I've been on this show, but
right,
for yourself, this is the very first time.
Yeah.
And I think it's always a pleasure to sit before you as we discuss national interest.
You don't have 6 children like Doc, eh?
No, I'm yet to consider that, and I'm even yet to begin the process.
Slow down. Yeah. Don't follow Doc.
Yeah, Doc
and go and have 6 children.
Doc is my good friend, but from the smoke I'm looking at, I mean,
even his smoke,
yes, he can do 4 more. He can do 4 more. But sometimes the 4 more can be dangerous. Remember, some 4 more, it's very, very dangerous. So you need to be careful.
Politicians. I never thought about it. You found a way of bringing that in. Anyway, let me get into my issues. But you can also be a part of these convos. WhatsApp number remains same till 10 0500,000 202. You can find us on Facebook. We're streaming live there. Class 913. Unfortunately, we can't take any more calls. So whatever you have to share with us, I would appreciate that by text or find us on Facebook and let's take the conversations from there. So let's start with the Supreme Court ruling with respect to the party delegate system. Like I said, in my constituency, when the ruling came out, I was home and I heard people shouting and screaming. I was asleep and I was wondering what it was. I came out. The assemblyman in my area lives not too far from me. He was the first person I met, and he was telling me about the story, and I was like, okay. So, for example, in my constituency, which is Kwame, where there are over 200,000 plus registered voters. I don't know how many for NPP, I don't know how many for NDC, but at least in the last election, or in the last couple of elections, the figures have been, those who have turned out to vote have been in excess of 100,000. I don't know how many have a party card for, let's say, Party A or Party B. So now, if you want to be if this stands, and if you want to be the member of parliament for, let's say, Dome Kwabenya, all the NDC people in good standing can vote. If there are 100,000, how on earth are you going to bribe all of those people? So for me, it's a good thing. What I do not know is how it would work and how the parties would have to look for money to fund elections like that. You are there. I'm sure when the decision broke out, Emmanuel, I'll start this conversation with you.
Okay.
At your party level, you have started having the conversations already.
Yes.
So, what are the conversations you are having following this ruling?
Yes. So, Kwame, let me thank you once again, and let me say a very big good morning to your cherished listeners. I mean, for always making time with us. But you see, this ruling is a mixed feeling, because if you look at the very thing you want to prevent, or you want to kill, is basically reducing monocracy in our body politics. And so when I saw people say that this ruling basically will reduce the cost as of how much people have to pay delegates, as and when they nurture their ambition of trying to own up for various portfolios, I share a different opinion to that effect. But that's why I started by saying it's a mixed feeling, and I'll tell you why. You know, anybody who has participated in this our delegate voting system will come to bear with me that the monocracy is not going to reduce, but rather,
really,
yes, and I'll tell you why. The monocracy will not reduce. We've seen in general elections. Look, if you want to go and then carefully look at the Afrobarometer report that is always published, how much you will need to first of all win a premise, then contest the main election itself. At any point in time, the main election has always been more expensive than the delegate system. Look, let me tell you something. Let me give you my constituency, Bole Bamboy, for instance. Bole has about 120,000 delegate system. Now, with this ruling that has come, where I'm not against the ruling though, but I'm saying that that's a title or the heading that it is going to reduce monocracy is where I'm saying that no, it might not reduce monocracy. So for instance, you go to a polling station or the branch level, that's how we the Indies will call it, say Bogda electoral area. At Bogda, as a stand-up or delegate system, you're supposed to get 9 delegates. So that one, the candidates easily get their way in making sure they bribe these people. But you go to Border has about more than 500. I think this time you cannot have more than 500 registered members at a branch or at a polling station. So let's even say that at the end of the day, we have 50 good standing NDC members.
So the 50 will vote.
Precisely. So now, when you go there, the money is not rather going to go to the individual delegates. But I'm telling you that those registered members on behalf of their various branch at the constituency or the community there who put up a request that they want this particular thing ABC, just like it happened in the general election.
I met your MP this weekend. He graduated with a PhD.
Precisely.
Were you there?
No, I was not there.
Okay. I was at that event.
That's fine.
Let me use him as an example.
Okay.
So you said that ward alone has 500.
Yes.
He wants to be MP for the whole of Bole Bamboy. Yes. So let's say there are about 100 wards.
Yes.
I'm just giving. Yes. And the total votes are 70,000.
It cannot be 70,000.
No, I'm just putting out a figure. How can you take care of 70,000 people?
So that's what I'm telling you, that the money is not. You see, what happened is that the current delegate, the money comes to the individual delegates. But in this case, like in general elections, general election, you cannot give all the voters money. But you go to your community and say, yes, honorable, given the message you have shared with us, we actually subscribe to that idea. And we're saying that giving you the opportunity, you can be a good leader or you can be a good MP to us. But we have a major problem here. Our borehole is not in good standing.
So the money that you'd have used to pay the delegates, you used to fix the borehole.
Precisely. That's what I'm saying, that monocracy still is not going to reduce. This time, what we're going to have is that we're going to have 2 elections. And I'm telling you that you have been around for a number of years now. Is the general election expensive or not expensive?
You pay 20 cedis.
No, not 20 cedis. You pay a huge amount. Look, you go to some community, especially those MPs that are in the rural areas. At a point that you need to construct a bridge. Do you know how much expensive a bridge is? They'll tell you that, yes, these are my registered members. We are about 50.
District Assembly's Common Fund.
Oh, Common Fund. MPP was not releasing them. If not, Atto-Forsen that is releasing the even media budget.
So MP raise money from friends, family,
I am
whoever.
saying that those things will always come. But in as much as you own up that you want to contest, those demands certainly will come. Even on top of that, among those registered members who are of good standing, individuals will still find a way to reach out to you, presenting to you personal problems of which you need to meet.
I can't meet everybody's needs.
You can't meet everybody's needs. But here already there's a community demand of you that you need to fix our borehole, our school block by the rainstorm got out, and you need to fix it.
I can't fix every need.
You have to.
But I can't.
No, the point is, listen, at that time you want to contest. You can't say that. You cannot say that. And I'm saying that if you go to about 10 communities, you cannot also say you're going to refuse all of them. What is the message they're going to put across? Remember, those delegates, those good party members of good standing, also go to funerals. They attend weddings. They crisscross and conversate.
I'll do the one I can.
So that is why I'm saying that monocracy, that element is going to reduce monocracy. No, I have participated in delegate election for about 2 times. Per what I've seen in my experience, it will not. But what I am happy is that at the end of the day, those monies released does not go to the benefit of only the delegate system, but rather to the benefit of the community at large. That personally I am happy, because when they go and fix the borehole, it doesn't go to only the chairman's house, does it? Everybody, even including animals, will go there and drink. That to me, I am happy. But on the said candidates that is going to reduce money, believe you me, it is not going to reduce money.
Why you say you are a delegate?
I'm not a delegate. I'm saying I've participated. I've seen delegate elections.
Okay. Do you know some delegates?
Yeah, I know some delegates.
Why do they take money to vote?
You see, look, our political system, our political system is such that people feel like that's the only time I can also get my own. I can get my share of the national cake. That these members of power will vote for them and they don't mind as they go to Accra. That has been the how will I see, the preconceived, premature conception that people have there. So at that time they feel like that is also a season. We need to take money. And politicians themselves who are not also performing. Look, I've seen some good number of MPs, especially I'll mention his name, Honorable Mutaka. Mutaka will tell you that, look, that money that I'm going to use to pay you, if I combine the money put together and build a library, it is going to serve of a greater benefit, because people will go there to learn, they acquire knowledge, and you and I sitting here know very well that for your community or for your town to develop, the bedrock is emphasis on education. But how many of our people understand this? So it is that narrative out there that it is my season, I need to also make money. It's the reason why when the ruling came, at some party, there's a divided school of thought. The delegates are not happy because they know that that money is not going to, because at the end of the day, if I come, look, with the delegate system, you can go somewhere, a delegate will put a request before you, amounting to 5,000 Ghana cedis. This time around, that is taken off. But before you come there, when you give them a message that at Dominic, where your branches, the MP want to come and meet you and share his vision with you, they will sit down among themselves and have a meeting. Yes, this man is coming. When he come and present his message to us, what request or supplication are also going to put before him?
Request? Why?
That but you have seen elections. When you go there, the chief, look, let me tell you something. When His Excellency John Dramani Mahama won the election, he said yes. But one headache he has to face with that, at every community that he has visited, the chief has always told him something that, one, make my MP a minister. Meanwhile, all the MPs cannot be minister. And also proceed to also do this monumental project for me. You cannot say anything at that time. You know the
so you keep quiet.
You keep quiet. And when you keep quiet, your negative story start writing there. This man is not truthful. He came to community A and promised them that he's going to fix their borehole for them. He could not do it.
The chief made the request.
Yes.
But I didn't say anything.
The chief, and what did he say? You go at that public, in the presence of all the good standing delegates there who want to vote for you. You cannot. You have to also say something to change the atmosphere where the chobo will follow up. He said, yes, this is the request the chief has put before me. I am going to work very hard. Those who are very professional will put in that way and that caveat. So meaning if after 10 years you're not able to get it, it means that you're still working very hard. Some will have to make an emphatic statement. And I'm telling you that, look, monocracy will not reduce even with this ruling. But what it will cure is that this time around, the money is going to be of benefit to the larger community, especially at the branch level. And that, me personally, I'm happy. Let me tell you what, I've always questioned myself that, with the greater respect to all the delegates, what actually did they do? What? Just tell me.
You have to tell me. I've never been
because
one.
They are basically supposed to energize the base. To even go, sometimes you even go to a branch, you want to have meeting with the party members. I am telling you that the people that will come there, You cannot even count in the NDC. We have 9 executives at the branch level. You can't even get up to 5 members. They just don't do any education. But when it is time for this delegate, they own up and take all the money. But this time around, it is not going to only be leveled on them, the few, to choose the leader for us. But it is going to cut across. At least we are going to get, it's like doing a sample studies. The good number of samples that we're going to choose a leader for all the community. That to me, I am very happy. But monocracy, Mr. Kwame, from what I've known, especially being around this enterprise, from 2016 till now, monocracy is not going to reduce.
Okay, so let's do some few maths, and I'll get my brother Agbanjili into the conversation
That's
as well. I'll put that question to you before he comes in.
That's fine.
So, for example, you say you have 9 polling executives
yes.
at your ward level.
Yes.
You want to go
and right.
You want to, let's say, in the past, you'd have gone to take care of the 9.
Okay.
Now, all the 500 people under that ward plus the 9. So let's say 509.
So don't use the 500 because the 500 is the total register of voters
at the ward.
So
maybe card-bearing members. So I'm just giving an example.
Okay, yes,
So let's say 500.
Okay.
Let's say all of them are for your party. Let me just for the purpose of this conversation.
That's fine.
So 500 plus the 9, so 509.
Okay.
Or maybe the 9 are part of the 500.
Okay.
So let's say 500.
500, good.
In the past, you'd have given this 9 5,000, 5,000, 5,000.
Yes.
Just an example again.
Yes.
So that would have been 5,000 by 9, 45,000.
Yes.
Now there are 500. You can give everybody 5,000, 5,000.
Yes.
So when you go down there, maybe you can give everybody 50 Ghana.
Look,
and you end up maybe giving 20,000 instead of 45,000.
So now let me use your case for instance. Your constituency, Domi-Kwabenya. It's one of the most populated constituencies in Ghana.
That one you need to probably have the keys of Bank of Ghana to contest that seat.
Precisely. Now
the delegates are too many.
So even let's deal with with what the ruling that has just come. Let's say that Domi-Kwabenya at the end of the day as an NDC candidate, the people that are going to vote there are 30,000. Those party members are 30,000. But in the past, let's say that with the delegates, I don't think it will be more than 2,000. I don't know at Domi-Kwabenya, but let's even peg it at 2,000.
A little under 2,000.
Precisely, but let's peg it at 2,000. That you are giving each person 500 Ghana cedis of the delegate. But they don't give all. What they do is that they target a good number. So let's say
in my place they pay.
No, I'm saying they pay. Everybody goes with in the lesson with
the 500 you have mentioned is coins in my constituency.
Yes. So I'm just giving an example. They give 500 out of the 2,000. They will target say I want to give 1,300 because when I get that number, eventually I've won.
Sure.
Good. They are giving 500 Ghana cedis. Do you know that even with the generality of party good members of good standing, if you are giving per head of 50 Ghana cedis, you are sharing that amount to say 10,000 people. Have you quantified that money? That is huge. Meanwhile, on the face of the registered members, that money is infinitesimal. It's nothing to write home about. But even you coughing out that money, it's still a problem to you, the candidates. Aside that, you are going to bias them. Now people have raised the issue that who is going to fund it. But let's even put that aside. I am telling you that in the proper general elections, at every community an MP or a candidate visit, there's a demand before him.
Can't you people just vote without asking for anything?
Who? If the politician, that's our wish, but it will not happen. On daily basis, do you know the number of messages you seated here? Do you know the number of messages? You know the number of messages you receive. People asking you to help them in A, B, C, D. Of course, I sent my message to doctor. Doctor has not even responded to me yet. So I'm part of those demands.
Man, don't worry.
So I'm saying that imagine doctor own up that he want to contest. Those demands naturally will come. They are organical demands.
Doctor, we have told him he shouldn't try.
Yes, but in your case, we
want to save our money.
Good. I'm saying that when you go to a play function, they will get to know that this is Kwame Dwomoh. After which, the number of people that will approach you, knowing very well that you sit here, you interview politicians. You are not a politician yourself, but because by the good work you do, you are privileged to have access to politicians. Look at the demands that come to you. How much more telling them that you are a marking a minority leader and you still want to contest for the 5th time?
So that is why I introduced my brother Agbanjili. He's a grassroots man. So I'm sure this experience that he has over 20 years experience.
Before he comes in, Mr. Kwame, I think I need to avert your mind to the institution NACOC.
What is happening there?
They are really doing well. I've always said that, look, the future of this country depends on the success of NACOC. The rate at which students are abusing drugs, I think for me, is alarming. And look, for the first time, they're introducing a very novel thing that to me I think is very good. You know, with the recruitment this year, they are saying that they are texting people who have in one way or other engaged in drug. And the system...
They've always done that. It's just that this year they've decided to put it public.
So that's
they've always done that.
I think they should continue with that.
Part of the
and I think if you come now, the thing NACOC as an institution have gotten the right to prosecute their own persons. And I think for me it's good. So in the past, it was not happening. But the only thing that has changed It's nothing but leadership. I know that man I'm talking about is nobody else but Chumberima, who is the deputy
He has
CEO
been
of
coming
NACOC.
here.
He's a good, fantastic man.
Once in a while,
So,
he visits
do
us.
you even know the deputy at that time, NACOC?
The deputy of
NACOC at that time, CEO.
No, I
Yeah,
cannot
because,
remember.
so that's why drags for here and there, here and there.
Oh, that's not a fair. That's not a fair comment.
What kind of comment is that?
Badly, ignore him. Ignore him. That was not a fair comment. It's not a fair comment.
Below the belt.
Yeah, this is below the belt. But let's move on. Let's
I'm
move
surprised.
on. Badly, you are a grassroots man. Yeah. You have been in this business for God knows how long. Yeah. Run me through your experiences with respect to the delegate system before we even look at what this new ruling would also mean to you as a person who understands that space very well.
Yeah. So for me, I've been a watcher of the delegate system for a very long time now. And I think for a very long time, it used to be only the New Patriotic Party and some other minority political parties who used to have this delegate system. Because from 92 till date, the New Patriotic Party has always used the delegate system to elect their leaders at every level, be it presidential congress, national executive, regional executive, and constituency executive. So at some point, the New Patriotic Party itself has been doing some amendment and expansion to include more and more people to the electoral college, so that at the end of the day, people at all level of the political structure will feel part of the process of selecting leaders, so that when people are part of selecting or making major decisions like that, they own it and they will want to work to ensure that those leaders succeed. So it has been like that. Even recently, I think 2025 or so, there was another amendment at the base level, because we used to have 5 polling station executive, that is the chairman, the secretary, the youth organizer, the women's organizer, and the organizer. So there was an amendment to expand it and increase it to 7. That is, they added, I think, research officer and communication officer, I believe, to make it 7. So it has always been like that. And the idea is to, like I told you, to ensure that people are part of decision making, people at all level. Because when you take the presidential primaries, for instance, every officer is given the opportunity to participate in the election. Even quite recently, there was another amendment. National Council took a decision that all former executives were also allowed. And the idea was just to let people own decision making in the party, to allow more people to participate in selecting leaders for the party. And it is very, very important. But it is also instructive to know that when the Supreme Court ruling came, I think it's one of the few issues that you have some agreement across the political aisle. I mean, both parties were not actually happy with the ruling. The New Patriotic Party, on our part, the Director of Elections indicated that the party, they will take it to the at the National Council level for the party to look at it and see the way forward. Or what?
One of the things I struggled to ask myself as you go ahead was when the ruling came. I thought, for example, let's say in my company here, we decide I want to elect a union chairman, and then we have our own ways of electing our chairman. The political party is also an independent institution, correct?
Yeah, that's
so
right.
You can decide how you want to do it.
Yeah.
So how is the ruling of the courts going to force me to organize my election in a certain way?
Yeah, so political parties, like you said, are national institutions. They are institutions by citizens of this country. And laws of this country apply to
which is fine.
institutions.
But now you're not even going to provide me the money to do it.
Yeah, so that is why people are asking for the implementation strategy. I mean, if you kind of say that every paid up member should be able to partake in the selection of, leaders, or should be part of, or should make up the electoral college. I mean, that is going to be a logistical nightmare. Unless, of course,
it's just like running a national election.
Absolutely. So,
yes.
Unless, of course, the state is going to intervene, just like the state finances national elections, electoral commission will. I mean, it's always funded by the state to organize national elections. So we have to look at the implementation. I mean, the Supreme Court, of course, maybe if the full ruling is out, at least we will know how it is going to be implemented. Because if you say that every paid up member should participate, I mean, who is going to fund it? Already political parties are having issues with funding, especially
when you're in opposition. I don't hear incumbent governments crying over
complaining about funding. So what I'm trying to say is that political parties already are complaining about funding, and for the Supreme Court to say that now every member should vote, just like my brother was mentioning Domi Kobinya and other big constituencies. So assuming every paid up member is going to come out to vote, how will that happen? And aside that, you see, if it is not managed properly, there is a tendency for people to cross over. You understand? You have some NDC people who come and pretend they are MPP people.
If they have a card to show for it.
You understand? But they may not necessarily be. You know, there are people in Ghana who have cards of the two major political parties.
And they are in good standing
like that. Yes, I mean, because he may go to this area and say that I'm MPP, register for the card, go to another area and then register and say I am NDC. So if people, I mean, if we don't have, the political parties should be given the support, you understand, to kind of identify their members. I know people at the base level can identify, but there should be a system, like, for instance, the national identification card. You understand? So that will, and this one, the two political, or all the political parties may have to kind of work together on this, so that at the end of the day, people are not, I mean, given the opportunity to just register for more than one political party. I know a lot of people want, because if you allow that, you see, you will have people from the opposing party registering into your system and making certain decisions for you, or helping to make certain decisions that original members may not have made such a decision. So these are all the practical difficulties some of us are looking at, and I think we just have to get the full ruling and then understand exactly how the implementation is going to be. But for me, sitting at where I am seated, because I personally have been voting in the delegate system since I think 2004 thereabouts. I've been participating in the
at the constituency level.
At the, I have worked at the constituency level. I've had the opportunity to work at the polling station level, the constituency level, the regional level. And at some point, I used to be part of the National Executive Committee and the National Council, based on my position as acting regional secretary of the New Patriotic Party in Northern Region. And I've also been a director of research and elections. So I understand exactly what I am talking about. It's going to be practically difficult, except the state is going to intervene in funding this process.
Is it not also a means to push you to increase activity at the base? So, for example, if you want to be not just an MPP or an NDC member by math, and you want to really support your political party, then the onus is on you to pay some dues. and then we can use the dues to organize whatever programs we want to organize, including elections.
Yeah, you see, many people, many party supporters do not see the need to pay dues.
So you encourage them to do it. Give them a reason to.
The thing is that, especially, except in cases where sometimes if you are in opposition, then some people will be generally interested in helping pay dues to support in the funding of the party. But if you are in government, people think that you are in government, people are given appointments, people have been given appointment, and so they are capable of supporting. Why will I sitting there unemployed and still struggling go to pay my party dues for a party that is in government? I mean, that has always been
because the party needs to be run.
Yes, you see, and I have noticed that, you see, sometimes when there is an election or people are interested in contesting elections, sometimes that is when people go to clear the backlog of their dues. You understand? He takes his membership card there, and the last time he paid would have been maybe 5 years or 6 years or 7 years. So the person will have to clear that to become like a paid up member. Yeah. So that is that people do not see the need to pay, because they have a feeling that, well, our party is in government, and if we are in government, there are several ways people can support the funding of the political party, rather than ordinary people who are still struggling to even get a job supporting. And but if you are in opposition, sometimes, but I doubt whether political parties get enough money from payment of membership dues. I mean, it's not something that people take serious. Other than that, if people were to take it serious, I mean,
you could generate some good money.
Political parties could generate some amount of money.
How about this side of the conversation as well? And I was bouncing it off with someone over the weekend. It is not as if those at the base are not involved. Yeah. They are still one way or the other involved, because they are the ones who actually vote for the polling station executives. Yeah. It's only a stage of the electoral process. Yeah. So they vote the delegates, then the delegates go and vote at the next level, and at the next level. It is not like those at the base are not involved at all. Yeah. Is that an argument you can make going forward, that it is not like we have excluded all of these people? They actually vote, and whoever they have voted also go on to vote for the next level of party so it's not like
for me, I believe that democracy is a process, and our democracy has been growing since we came back to democratic rule in 1992. And my feeling is that if the court had allowed the political parties, there's a point you grow, and it comes to a point you definitely will have to open it up for all paid up members. But at this state, I doubt, without state support, any of the political parties have the capacity to implement this ruling in its entirety. Okay. Because it's going to be practically difficult, because it will require a huge amount of money to be able to implement it. And apart from maybe those in government, I mean, the rest of us who are in the other side of the political equation, that is in opposition, may not be able to.
I'm sure these are early days yet of the ruling,
and I understand they have also given about a year for political parties to comply. It doesn't take away anything if all the political parties should discuss it. It's an opportunity for them to discuss it. If there is a need for them to kind of call for a review, I mean, kind of appeal the decision and make a joint case, probably the Supreme Court may want to review this particular decision.
Okay, like I said, these are early days yet of the ruling. So, obviously, the decisions are not going to be taken by the two of you. The decisions will be taken at party level, executive level, national level. I mean, whatever structures that you have in your political parties, they will decide. So, we would probably be following this conversation, and then when we get there, briefly, just a minute on that. We need to move on.
Because the Supreme Court anticipated that some of these challenges will emanate. So the reason why they gave that 1 year period. So for us to rule it out that it will be impossible, to be difficult.
You are speaking for your party.
No, not for the party. I'm speaking on this matter. This matter, this is the only topic that perhaps...
You think all your party people are interested in, even in 1 year, things will be okay?
Yeah, I mean, so that offers us the opportunity to have a roundtable discussion, to first of all look at the challenges and whatever we need to do to make sure that we have a very formidable, streamlined structure going forward in implementing this particular ruling that has come from the Supreme Court. So the point I'm making is that this is also going to intensify the participation at the base level. Look, the party pays 2 cedis as dues every month, and even with that, yes, that's the NDC, 2 Ghana cedis.
How much do you pay?
I can't tell for now.
But for the NDC, your dues is supposed to be 2 Ghana cedis a month. So it means
that's what 24 cedis a year.
24 cedis a year. But even that one,
they are not paying.
They are not paying.
So people don't even think about it.
So it tells you that once this has come, that is going to require financial commitment. It means that whosoever is in charge at the base level is also going to require of you to put up some work, first of all, to motivate people. Like he's rightly said, people don't even see the reason, the justification of paying these dues. But then come again that once you are a member of a particular organization, one of the key responsibilities that is demanded or required of you is to pay dues. And so once we do this, you can even increase to say 5 Ghana cedi. I'm just making a figure. Once we are able to make sure that we have this efficient collection of the dues, the money issue can come in, but with a little support from the state to across all the political parties, together with the dues collected, I think we can implement this thing.
Charlie, we don't have money to support your political activities. We want our money for schools and hospitals. You want us to use our coins to come and help you run your parties. That one, I'll be the first person to go to court on that. That the state should be funding MPP and this. Yeah. For what?
But the Electoral Commission, when it's time for election,
that is the EC.
That is easy, but
to fund your activities.
No, but the EC, so basically, you know that the Supreme Court also directed the EC in this ruling that they should bring a framework in implementing this.
And so they'll go and bring it. That is their job. Anyway, let me move on to my next issue. And this one, Faisal, I'll start with you because your side of the political divide has been. I've been listening to a number of your spokespersons, and clearly they are not amused with the decision to acquit and discharge Madam Sedina Tunu Tamaklu. I don't want us to go way back. We at least we know all of us know the story to a point. I mean, one of the things that I and this is as far back as 2024, not last week. As far back as 2024, I got a document that I think I even read it here on this platform on the charges that were against her. And this was even at the time when your party was in office and the charges that were leveled against her. And so today, beyond what the court have said, and I'm not challenging the courts, I have not had anyone who has told me or who has been able to convince me that the things that were leveled against the woman she's saying is not true. Like, for example, meeting the microfinance manager at a filling station at Spintex and collecting the money and taking it into a car boot and going away. She has not come out to say it's not true.
No, she can't.
I won't go there. That's what I'm saying. I have not heard.
No, it is. Can I?
So it didn't happen.
So now, when
and this is just one thing.
Yes, so
there are a lot of things.
So just on that, just on that.
Yeah.
When they met at the Bachona filling station, according to the man from the microfinance that gave the 500,000 to the woman, she issued a receipt giving reference number. That the whole issue happened that when they paid the money to the account of Maslow, and they said the issue about 24% was a bone of contention. They said that it was too much. Then they said that no, we cannot subscribe or we cannot.
And all of this were under the banner for 2 years until the case sprang up. And then there was a decision last week. And now we have gotten to know that there was actually a check instead of a cash collection.
So the cash collection that is out from the institution. They are saying that they have paid that money by way of cash, presenting it to the
because cash was demanded.
Precise, and Sedinam is saying that she has not received any of those monies. And do you know the surprising thing? Guess what? When
was she not the same person at the filling station?
There's an official document that Maslow wrote back to the same company that you are owing us and you have to pay us back. So the court even asked the managers of the institution that, did you receive this letter from Maslow? You say I'm owing you. Then you met me downstairs and gave me the money. Under what authority will I still have to write to you that you are still owing me?
Those are technicalities.
No, not technicalities.
There's the technicality and there's the act.
So I'm saying
what exactly happened.
So now the man says that the woman Maslow write back to the people that are owing me. Then the man acknowledged that yes. But the only thing I could do was that I replied on a WhatsApp message. Then the court asked, can we get evidence of that WhatsApp message telling the woman that but you met me at Batuna filling station and took the money? Do you know tonight and the court proceeding as you and I know that evidence has not been able to adduce?
Okay, so you see why I'm saying this is technicalities. What actually happened was cash given to somebody at the filling station.
Yes, I mean the High Court found that it was actually given, hence the ruling. So my point is that my point is
let me start with you,
Faisal. Kwame, it's quite interesting and worrying for some of us who are watching this government fight against corruption. Because you see, to fight against corruption, necessarily you must include members of your own party and government who have misconducted themselves in one way or the other. But it shouldn't be selective. You understand? You cannot, because over the weekends I was discussing with a colleague of mine, and I said that even if there hadn't been any ruling in respect of said Natama Kulo's case, this government sure enough would have filed a nolle prosequi. Because looking at how my brother is trying to defend this action, and for me, you see, you cannot be selective if you are genuinely fighting for or fighting against corruption in this country. You get what I mean? Because for me, many people have criticized the ruling or the acquittal by the appeals court. A lot of people.
They are human beings.
Yeah, I understand. I understand.
You are
that.
not a repository of knowledge.
I understand that. But you yourself, you have.
And I can disagree.
You have read the High Court ruling, and you saw exactly what happened. You understand? People were just like taking money like granites.
If out of nothing, what about the accountability part?
Yes.
Let's even say you don't want to do away with the technicalities.
Yes.
What about the accountability part? So, for example, someone is running an organization. This water costs 2 cedis. And then they procure this thing for 10 cedis, and nobody has a problem with that. I don't understand some of these things.
So that is why I'm saying that. You see, you cannot be desperate in trying to hold the members of the past administration responsible, while on the other hand, you are busy filing nolle prosequi to release others. You understand? Why don't you allow them to go through? Allow the trials to to go through it full length, rather than filing nolle prosequi. And even people who were convicted, they were somehow, extradited back to Ghana, and from what we heard, they were actually never in prison. That's the talk in town. They were given some safe houses to stay.
Yeah, we are not in a position to prove
that.
So,
that's what we are hearing. And eventually, there is an appeals court ruling that sets them free. And I ask myself, is that the way to go? Because you see, Kwame, the tendency for instance, if there is a change of government, a number of people have also been lined up, are in the courts, going through trial for corruption and other alleged financial malfeasance. Are you saying that members of the MPP will not say that if the previous government had acquitted and that had filed a nolle prosequi to free all their appointees who were standing trial, why don't you do the same for these other people?
I will not be surprised.
Yeah, definitely. And that would be fair. Because people were undergoing trial. You came and it appears everyone has to go.
You didn't buy their justification at the time? That these cases have traveled for so long and they didn't appear to be like the cases where
the lawyers will tell you that the wheel of justice grinds slowly. But it will surely arrive at its destination. You understand? Me, I prefer that a case is denied, is delayed rather than giving, wrong judgment or kind of delivering judgment that will not be acceptable or will not stand the test of time. You understand? It's better because if it delays, at the end of the day, the parties also have the opportunity. They have legal representation. So it doesn't matter how long it delays, but justice must be done and it must be seen to have been done. That's what we are calling for. But to just come and then decide that every appointee under like the previous NDC regime who were standing trial should go home. It speaks volumes about our commitment towards fighting corruption and accountability.
What exactly do you find wrong with Madam Sedina being acquitted and discharged?
My point is that everyone is surprised because if you read the appeal, the charges, and even the High Court ruling, you realize that something actually took place. And if something something took place, some misconduct was done, what do you do? Let the person face the full rigors of the law. Let the person, but for this kind of acquittal, it tells you that you can go and do whatever. When your party is in government, you can do whatever you want to do.
Is that your understanding of what happened?
Well, that is my understanding. That's my understanding. Your party is in government. You can do whatever you want to do. You can amass any kind of wealth you want. If at the end of your party's tenure in government, the other party, if they decide to take you to court, you pray that the case will drag. Or even if you are convicted, at some point you decide to also pretend that you are sick, go abroad. If you are extradited, you go on an appeal and you are acquitted. Because that's what exactly happened. And I think that is quite unfortunate. And you see, it weakens, people's interest in the fight against corruption. You understand? Because what is happening? Everybody suddenly is a saint. But most other people from the other side of the political divide are all guilty. Hence, they are all in court. But those who were in court before you arrive have all been asked to go free, scot-free. In some cases, they have even asked some of the people who were accused, like in the case of Dufour and others, to bring about 70% of the money that they thought they took away. That is justice and that is fairness. Why haven't this morning I was just reading Kofi Bentel's post on Facebook, and he was saying that the principle that they applied to acquit and discharge Sedina Tamaklo, if it is applied in the case of Ken and Hanan, they should also be at home today. Is that the way we want to fight corruption in this country? You see, we have to be very careful, especially a political party like the NDC that has its antecedent in a revolutionary system that killed people, for corruption, that kind of chased people away because of corruption. Today, you are handling corruption cases this way, especially things, cases that are related to your own members.
It may have happened under their administration, but the judges are not people put there to do NDC bidding, or
yeah, but we are watching. We are watching. In time past, the NDC made us to believe that there was unanimous. You used to call them unanimous FC. Now they are unanimous what?
Okay. I don't know if you want a response from me, but let me just take us back just a little bit with respect to the decision arrived at by the judges. The three-member panel of Justice Emmanuel Ankama, Justice Emmanuel Senyo Amedahi, and Justice Samuel Obin Diewu held that the prosecution failed to establish the offences beyond reasonable doubt, and that several of the convictions could not be sustained in law. The appellate court subsequently set aside the convictions and the 10-year prison sentence imposed by the High Court and acquitted and discharged Tamaklo on all charges. One of the first issues considered by the court was the Attorney General's preliminary objection that Tamaklo, having absconded during the trial could not invoke the Court of Appeal's jurisdiction. The court rejected that argument, holding that there is nothing in the 1992 Constitution preventing a person convicted in absentia from appealing. It found that Tamaklo had filed her appeal in accordance with the Court of Appeal rules and was therefore entitled to be heard. That is the one that was filed, and the former Attorney General said he did not even see it. Okay. In relation to the alleged theft of 500,000 linked to the Obatampa microfinance, the Court of Appeal found that the prosecution failed to provide the authenticity of a key acknowledged letter relied upon as evidence. Okay. It observed that although investigators claim the programs never took place, the prosecution failed to call the Maslock regional directors who allegedly provided that information as a witness, and it goes on and on and on. Now that would take me back to the charges leveled against Madam Sedina Tamaklo. 1. Appropriating 500,000 of Maslow funds for personal use after the money was returned from Obatampa. 2. Withdrawing the 1.816 million in trenches from the Maslow board after the Maslow board approved 1.706. She went ahead to withdraw more than that for a nationwide sensitization program, spending only 1,300 on refreshments for beneficiaries in 3 regions out of 1.816 million allocated for that purpose, appropriating 579,800 out of the 1.465 meant for victims of the 2013 Kantabantu Markets fire disaster, procuring vehicles including Chevy Aveo saloons, Chevy Sparklight vehicles, and Isuzu buses at prices higher than approved market value, procuring 200 Samsung B310 dual SIM mobile phones under the Pinko Project Market Survey at 93,000, despite the market value of 24,000. Authorizing ex gratia payments of 135,592 for herself and 82,218 for her deputy, paying herself and her deputy 28,000 and 27,000 respectively in purported lieu of leave. And the stories go on and on and on. Faisal, have you landed?
Yeah, so you see, I mean, some of these evidence or charges speaks for itself, and I'm surprised our friends on the other side are trying to justify this. Are we now being told that these monies that the lady is alleged to have misappropriated, are we saying that that action never happened? It never took place.
Ima has the answer.
And therefore the money still, though nothing was stolen at Maslock. Is that what we are being told? Cantonmental women, there was a fire disaster. You were asked to go and then give them money. Our mothers, our sisters, who have decided to go and sell their wares under a scorching sun. And these are people who pay taxes. They have lost their wares through a fire disaster. And you were asked to go and then support them. And at the end of the day, the money is diverted somewhere. That is callousness. People were shot for less. Kelafeli and Ku were shot for borrowing 50,000 Ghana cedis. Today, some were talking about millions. And now, her political party is in government. And they're saying that she has been acquitted. Ghanaians are watching. Ghanaians are watching.
Yuma, you heard all that I read from the 500,000, 1.8, the mobile phones, the cars paying her. Is it your understanding that none of these things happened?
So, Kwame, let me thank you once again. And I think seated here listening to my brother, the only conclusion I arrived at is that I'm also sad once again being a politician. And at no point in time should we allow emotions to fester in our political discussion, and for which emanates knee-jerking reactions. I've listened to senior elements within the MPP, and at any point in time, my focus is always to see any of them pick up the judgment and argue or pontificate holes into it, for which they believe that maybe the judges at the Court of Appeal aired wrongly. But at any point in time, nobody has done that. And my brother clearly has also demonstrated the same here. After 12-15 minutes, the thing he seeks to do is to talk about morality, talk about trend, without not making a single phrase out of the judgment for which he's making those statements. And I think that is regrettable. Because
okay, so based on what you have said, so for example, if I see that mobile phones that were costing 24,400, we rather spend 93,412, did it happen or not?
So now, this woman suffered about 78 counts. And if you take your time and read the ruling, at any count, the Court of Appeal has adduced contrary evidence or superior evidence to juxtapose that the High Courts do not do justice to the matter.
So it did not happen.
So now,
well, that's what we are making.
Let's take it one at a time. And for purpose of time, I just want us to go to, I think, paragraph 82 of the ruling. Let's all go there.
Okay. Let me open mine. Go ahead.
So now, the heading is that funds intended for sensitization, monitoring, and training financial literacy. The 82 says the appellant and the second accused were also charged with stealing of 1.86 million Ghana cedis, notwithstanding that approval had been given of 1.7 million Ghana cedis for sensitization and monitoring program for selected beneficiaries across the country, blah, blah, blah. Now, when you read 84, the respondent, in this case, the respondent is the accused person, the plaintiff. The respondent tendered a list of beneficiaries for the sensitization monitoring program. However, PW7, that is prosecution witness 7 of Yoko, accepted in cross-examination that none of the beneficiaries had contacted to confirm whether the program had taken place. When you read further question, during the investigation of when they were cross-examining the lawyer for the accused person here in the Sedinam case, his lawyer, when they were cross-examining the prosecution witness 7, this is what he said.
Was it at the High Court or the Appeals Court?
This is a ruling from the Appeal Court. He said during the investigation, you were finished. So this cross-examination happened at the High Court. You know, in the Court of Appeal, they only take proceedings.
Submissions.
But yes, so I'm saying this ruling this is a cross-examination that took place in the High Court. And this is what it says. That during the investigation, you were finished with several documents listing several towns under the sensitization program. Is that not so? Then he said that is so. Did the investigation by Yoko involve attempt to speak to any of these persons listed in the several communities on the document furnished to Yoko? The sensitization program was organized for 85,300 participants with a budget of 1.7 million Ghana cedis. Now, if we had at least, we might have placed a call to all of them to confirm or deny whether indeed the program was organized and they were given the 20 Ghana cedis. What they did was that, I give you an example. They say that they give you Kwame money to come and have a program with your workers in class media here. Then, in trying to investigate to find whether indeed did you use that money for the intended purpose, they only went to believe on the hearsay that the security man said nothing of that sort happened. Would that not call any of dog or your producer to ascertain that the money that was given to Mr. Kwame for the sensitization program did it actually happen or not?
So the program happened.
The program happened. So in
and everybody got their share.
Listen to me. Okay. So what I'm saying is that for you to make this charge on somebody that the program did not happen, what due diligence do you do? You cannot just go and base on a hearsay and for which you want to proceed to say that the program did not happen. Meanwhile, when you know very well that one of the very fundamental that underpin investigation is to do a proper correspondence. First of all, going to the very people the said program is intended for to ascertain did it happen or not. Then you base on hearsay.
So the funds were actually spent on all the people who needed them.
Yes.
Okay, the 1.816.
Yes. So now.
Okay, thank you. Can you read what the ruling said about the mobile phones for me?
So now, listen to one significant portion. A question came. Indeed, there is no testimony before the court by any regional officer of Maslock. I am putting this to you. So that's still under cross-examination. They are saying that You didn't even go to even Maslock as an institution to speak to the office that indeed the money that was released, the program did not happen. So they're asking the prosecution witness. I am putting this question to you that indeed there is no testimony before the court of any regional officer of Maslow. I'm putting this to you. He said, that is so, my lady. By the operation, that section, I just don't want to read that edition. So PW6 come here and said, had PW6, that's prosecution witness 6 and 7, had no personal knowledge of Maslow's activities during the material period. Their assertion that no sensitization or training program had taken place was derived from what they said had been communicated to them by Maslow regional directors and was tendered for its truth. In my opinion, that evidence was a hearsay. It could not be received, if at all, only a finished hearsay under section 1(8) of the Evidence Act provided statutory condition was satisfied. This is the ruling of the court. He's saying that what the accused person is putting on Madam was just a hearsay of what he heard from regional directors of Maslow, without not going to the people to ascertain. So I'm at a Central University. You give me money to go organize a program for them. Do you just listen to a security man saying that the program did not happen, or you have to go to the student body themselves to find out?
No, but
I'm asking
you are making it too simplistic.
I don't want to go on that tangent, but
yes.
If a program happened
in a region
of that magnitude,
yes, because remember,
it will be visible.
Yes,
it will be known.
Good. So
there will be photos. I'm coming.
Yes.
There will be videos.
Yes.
There will be something because this involves thousands of people. The evidence will be there.
Glaring.
The court is saying
how. That's why I'm saying the people who work, the judges who work on the court, they are human beings. Like
human beings.
They are not. With the greatest of respect, the only thing that they probably would have that I don't have is their knowledge of the law.
Yeah.
But I can also make a deduction based on the same things that you said. For example, so in that particular instance, up to about 7 prosecution witnesses were called, up to about 7 in that particular instance. This is something that involves thousands.
Yes.
If there's 7 people who say, oh, it happened, and let's say there were supposed to be 2,000 people, and we use 7 as a sample size of the 2,000 for something that really happened, would that be a fair conclusion to that particular stance by the judge?
So, Mr. Kwame, based on the same preamble, that even makes the investigation very easy. Like I tell you, same on Central University. We are going to do a program for 1,000 people. The probability that when you meet 1 out of 5 students to hear about that program, because this is about numbers, it's very hard that they confirm to you that indeed whether it happened or it did not happen.
So the program, there were no videos, there were no pictures, there was nothing.
You are accusing me that it did not happen.
Okay. So it's the onus was on me to prove.
Precisely.
Okay.
So you that is accusing me.
So you can also provide it to defend your case.
I'll get there.
So you accusing me, you only based on the accusation that you heard it from a regional master director. And I'm telling you that when you ask me that you did not use the money for the intended, but I answered that I used it.
You can't provide
Here's the
any
evidence.
Justification to show that you actually. So these are the pictures, these are the videos, this is who spoke, this is how we distributed the money, these are the receipts. You can also provide.
I put it to you, Mr. Kwame, that you have been around.
Please, you are not in court, I beg.
But I am also asking you, with all respect, that in matters of criminal cases, between the plaintiff and the accused, who is the onus on him to produce evidence?
I get that.
Yes,
I get that. What I'm saying, I'm asking, just like any, with the greatest of respect, like any layman would ask. We are in a court of law. We will do all of these things. But so for example, so let's say my grandmother in the village is asking this. Okay, so if you said it happened, so there is. Can you just to save yourself of all the accusations, you provide something, like you are called at a family meeting, you to come and justify, you to come and defend. So then you present the evidence that the things that Uncle Kofi is accusing me of, this is what I did. This is how I send the family money. This is how I give them. You too, when you do that, to nothing spoiled.
Yeah, but when I don't do that, has something spoiled. Nothing was spoiled, and you and I sitting
here.
Know that
I'll give you an opportunity.
You and I sitting here know that we all saw what transpired in the 2024 Supreme Court petition of the election.
Those are two different issues.
I am saying that when we were challenging Jane Mensah to appear on the box, what did they tell us? They said we should prove. She opted opted, because that is a provision in the constitution, she opted not to come out to make any rebuttals whatsoever. The highest court of the land proceeded and then gave the ruling. So I'm saying that what I'm saying is right. Cases. What the woman also did is also right.
Okay, I have a final topic, but I just want to wrap up on this.
So you see, look, I'm coming. You see, just still indulge me.
Okay, sure.
And I'll make this.
We have 2 minutes. So
2 minutes, really. My team feels I had a very good time.
Oh, no, I give Faisal 12 minutes. I've given you more than 12 minutes.
Okay, that's fine. So now let's go to 94. You see, as one of the charges, and this is what they say, that interestingly, upon perusal of the record, I found the prosecution led evidence to corroborate the appellant's assertion that she distributed money to victims to witness. PW1 testified under cross-examination on the 24th May 2021 as follows. Question: that you testified some days ago that the issues in respect to Gadifo Adamfo are no more relevant. Was that the testimony? So here, this is Godfrey Dami's witness, and in this case, we are talking about the CEO at the time, which is happened to be Sticker. Then the question proceeded. Yes, my lady. Sticker answered back. Then he said, and I also recall your testimony was that it was not relevant because you got to know that it was used for the purpose for which it was withdrawn for. This was the question they asked to Sticker, who happened to be the CEO, who happened to also be a prosecution witness for Godfrey Dami.
So Sticker could have been told that. So yeah, they said they were going to do it. So,
Mr. Kwame,
so they did it.
Just follow me. Yes, my lady. Sticker answered back. How did you get to know that it was used for the purpose for which it was withdrawn? It was through inquiry. We investigated. The very question you asked, I just didn't want to answer you, but I wanted to use the court ruling to answer you. Sticker answered by saying that it was through inquiry we got to know that the said approved money was used for the main purpose. Let's proceed.
Please learn from me, yeah.
Inquiry by who and whom? Why not when could be say?
Of course.
Good. Now, inquiry by Bafo and Associate, that led into the conclusion. The firm that investigated this was Bafo, who happened to be the former minister for labor and employment.
No. I think
he's not the one.
Is former auditor general.
Former auditor general. Yes.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for that correction.
And now, who else could have been?
I'm coming.
Could have done it better.
Now, whom did you inquire from? Failed the cross examination. Then he said, we inquire from both within and without. Within means that after speaking to some officials of Maslow and then some officials of Beautiful, but I cannot pinpoint which one of them, we came to a conclusion that the matter had been resolved. If it had not been resolved, it would have forwarded additional documentation.
Okay, and it goes on and on and on.
It goes on and on.
But I get all of this.
So I am saying that.
Are we saying, in wrapping up, and then I'll give Faisal maybe a minute or two, and then we'll move on. Are we saying that in all of this, all of these charges, including, for example, what I see about she paying herself some ex-gratia
and all
and
those
paying herself a deputy and buying the mobile phones, are we saying in a maybe a bit emotional here, are we saying in our hearts of hearts, all of us can look into our faces and our children's faces and our uncles' faces and our grandmother's faces, everybody's face, all of us, we can look at everybody's face and say nothing happened, let's get on with our lives?
So the first answer is that Sticker admitted under cross examination they did investigation and the money was used for the intended purpose.
Nothing happened.
So now, just
including the mobile phones.
So you gave me
ex-gratia.
Yes, everything. So now,
mobile phones.
Under the ex-gratia,
vehicles procured. Because I remember the case involving the vehicles that were procured that were left to rot over there, and nobody has been held accountable to this day. So we spent money with the taxpayers' money. The cars were just there sitting and rotting. A lot of them have rotting. We can't use it for anything. Nobody is held accountable, and we all get on with our lives.
Answer, and I conclude. I do that in just 30 seconds. You tendered in exhibit ADACAB of the payment of the leave of someone. So now, they asked Sticker again. They asked the director of finance at Maslow as a prosecution witness for Godfrey Dami and the attorney general for the state at large. That is correct. That's the answer. He proceeded. The payments were processed by your office. Is that correct? Very correct. Now I said the process was based on document relating to the appointment of A1, who's happy to do the appellant or by sitting down in this place. The A1 and the former deputy, is that correct? He said very correct. In processing for the payment of this, did you notice anything untoward? He answered under cross-examination in court. He said, no, I did not notice anything untoward. This is Godfrey Damian prosecution witness.
Okay.
We're concluding with, he said,
I guess it's case die, so we move.
No,
yeah.
You put your signature under this payment because you did not find anything wrong with this payment. Is that correct? It will interest you to hear this.
Which payment in particular?
I authorized those payments because I did not find anything wrong with the documents.
Which
that was presented to him.
Yes, okay. These are charges the woman is suffering by will of the 78 count that she should go and be in jail for this thing. Under cross-examination by the prosecution witness, he came and said that in processing the leave or the S-Dacia, he did not find anything untoward.
Fair point. I get all of that. Fantastic. So nothing spoiled. We'll move. Nothing. First, I'll give you just 1 minute on this and then wrap up. Yeah.
Listening to Kwame, Emmanuel and...
Please, land. 30 seconds, please. I beg you.
You see, let us not create the impression as though the court only side with the ruling government. In any case, Mr. Kwame, not long ago, we had a case in the we saw in the case of.
You don't want to compare cases.
No, I'm not comparing.
Let's focus on
this.
Yeah.
I want to give you an example. In the case of Pandai, when the High Court of Tamale nullified the results, when they appealed before the Court of Appeal, what didn't happen? When they saw that the High Court did not have basis, they quashed that ruling off. Have you heard any NDC member crying as though the government has done this? Why is it on your turn? When the ruling came in the High Court, you heard the very principle words.
Unfortunately, this is what both of you do. Kwame, it looks like when it goes for you, it goes this way. If it goes against you, it goes this way.
Regrettable.
Faisal, I'll give you 1 minute on this, and then let's do OSP and close.
1 minute may not suffice. Listening to Ima, I can only come to one conclusion. I mean, the John Mahama current administration has lost interest in the fight against corruption. And for me, given all the issues Emmanuel raised, it will interest you to know that the Attorney General says that Godfrey Damian did a very good job and that they are going to kind of pursue the case. So if the Attorney General...
And that was going to be the next step of the conversation that I wanted to have. For the sitting Attorney General of the states to then, on the back of this decision, say, I am going to appeal this.
So it tells you that there is
who doesn't
confusion.
understand
There's
the
confusion.
law, or something is amiss somewhere.
Communicators for the NDC like Ima and his friends are welcoming the decision. Now you also have an Attorney General who is saying that they have to kind of go for a stay of execution to pursue it, kind of appeal or maybe move to the next level because they are not satisfied with the ruling of the appeals court. Now our friends here, foot soldiers like us, are busy hailing the appeals court. The point is that just like you were asking him, are we now saying that nothing was actually lost at Maslock during her tenure? Is that what we are saying?
If there's evidence,
nothing. There was nothing actually.
Based on the ruling, nothing has happened.
Nothing has happened.
Yes. And you and I are binding by the ruling, unless of course you have superior evidence.
But the Attorney General disagree with that. The Attorney General is saying that they are going to apply for stay of execution. No. When I attempted to do that, you actually asked me to.
Very well.
So just rest, relax.
You get this time, don't worry.
You understand? So what we are saying is that you, the foot soldiers, are hailing the decision. You understand? The Attorney General says that his predecessor did a good job, and that he's going to.
Those are his words. For you.
No, I mean, that's my interpretation. Did he actually criticize Dami's work?
But
did he criticize that?
He did also say he did a good job.
But why is he saying that? Why is he saying that they will apply for state of execution?
Yes.
You understand? Some of you are busy there blaming Dami. The other day I was listening to somebody and the person was saying that if you listen to if you read the judgment, you curse Godfrey Dami. And I'm saying, but the Attorney General is not saying so. The Attorney General also disagree with the ruling by the appeals court, and therefore they have actually applied for stay of execution. You understand? So the point is that if you put all of these things together, it tells you one thing. I mean, the John Mahama current administration has lost interest in the fight against corruption. What they are interested in is going after people who are not from their political stock.
And because of the point you've raised, I just want us to tie in this so that we would extend the conversation to maybe another 10 minutes. The Attorney General has expressed concern that former CEO of Maslock, Madam Sedina Tamaklu, could leave Ghana before the Supreme Court determines the state's appeal against her acquittal. The concern is contained in the Attorney General's application seeking a stay of execution of the Court of Appeal's judgments, acquitting and discharging her, pending the final determination of the appeal. Now, this is what gets my attention. One, a decision could not be reached as of Friday. The three judges said they were going to sit on this and reconsider. That has not happened. The court subsequently adjourned the matter indefinitely without indicating when it could reconvene to determine its ruling. So at this point, it's case die.
Yeah.
The woman is a free man.
Yeah.
So if the Attorney General takes the case back to court and the case is overturned or something like that, and she's vamoosed, then what do we do again? Or it's all ifs and buts. I don't know if you.
It's my turn to answer.
So we are engaging.
The point is that
I'm asking
our friends like Emmanuel and his friends seem to think that nothing actually happened at Maslock. There was no financial misconduct, there was no misappropriation, there was no stealing.
He says the judges say so. Not
you understand? And he's happy with that.
What I read.
You have the document. Take your time. It will get to you. Just you see, he's so excited with the ruling. You understand? Meanwhile, the other day he was busy.
He's been reading.
Look at how he was reading it.
But he's
gleefully. He was reading it.
But he did not write it.
He was so happy.
But he didn't write it.
The judges took that decision. I'm very sad.
Is it my own conjecture?
I'm very sad because you see, people want to make it look like the money is actually for Godfrey Dami. Godfrey Dami was doing his best to save the national purse, to go after people who have stolen government's money. You understand? Now, why are we making it look like it was his money? I mean, the fact that the appeals court has made this ruling, acquitting her, meaning nothing was done. But the Attorney General, on the other hand, says that they will pursue it. So, but my posture is that, because if it is going to continue this way, why will I also be happy that other people who are not NDC members or appointees who were in the previous administration are also standing trial?
Because they say the law is the law.
You understand? The law is still the law, but let us be fair to everyone because they are all citizens of this country.
Who determines what is fair?
Well, it is the judges. It is the judges. Yes.
Kofi and Nama may sit on case and may decide in a certain way.
So that is why I'm saying that we have to exhaust. We have to exhaust the legal avenues. That is not the end. The fact that the appeals court has made this decision doesn't mean that is the end.
No, nobody has said that. There are the AG wants to stay on this.
So I was thinking that communicators like Emmanuel and Co would rather support the AG's action rather than gleefully reading to us the judgment and making it look like there was actually no evidence against the woman. You understand? I mean, it makes me so sad.
Before the judges at the courts,
ended
up with the ruling that Yima has read.
Yes,
I don't know what Yima's crime is.
So my point is that the AG disagree with that, and the AG is making.
A right to.
Yes, you understand. So people like him, the judges, I mean, they have made their decision, but it tells you that the AG can still appeal or he can still go to the next step. That is the Supreme
Which is what
Court.
He wants to
You understand?
Yeah.
Why can't they support that? But rather are happy that the woman has been set free. That is my concern.
Yeah, it's not my fault.
But they are rather happy that Hanan and other MPP appointees are standing trial.
So the question I ask you, what is your position on what MPP and your communicators? What is your next step in this ruling that has come out?
No, we are encouraging the Attorney General to use the next step, to use all legal avenue to ensure that justice is done.
Okay, so that's
that is our position.
So my school of thought, perusing the document, also believe that the Court of Appeal did a very genuine job
So the Attorney General shouldn't make an appeal. He shouldn't appeal.
Are
we saying that the Attorney General should not take the next step? Is that what you are saying?
I take the opportunity to just join the
Kwame, let him answer us.
You are asking.
Is that what he's saying?
You see,
you are not interested in what the Attorney General is about to do.
The most important thing is that.
Faisal, you pose a question.
I'm so disappointed, Emmanuel. I'm kind of disappointed. I'm disgusted.
That's the beauty of democracy. And I think you made a very nice.
Are you with the Attorney General in this or not? This is a simple question. So let him answer that.
Let him answer.
You were down, blah 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 blah. Answer this simple question.
So let him answer. Alaji.
So
thank you.
I want to yield to that preposition without paying royalties to you that nobody is a repository of knowledge. The respected Dominic Ayeni is the Attorney General, and if you heard him that day when he was doing the accountability series, he said yes, he has heard that the Court of Appeal has acquitted and discharged Sedinam, but he holds the opinion that there are matters that need to be answered, and for which he is going to appeal at the highest court. But then emphasis should be laid on the part that he has not read the judgments. The Attorney General
would have been briefed.
Yes, he said he has not been briefed. He has not also read it. That must be put on record. We are not faulting for that. It is one of the constitutional requirements that if you are not satisfied, it is provided by statute for you to go by. Mr. Kwame, is that not the case?
Exactly.
What we are saying is that the only document that you and I can discuss as far as any matter that is being tried in any of our court system is the ruling. The ruling before us suggests that the woman on all the counts, first of all, the very first thing they did was that defective charges on her.
Remember, it was another ruling day.
So you see, look.
I thought it's a discussion between me and him. So
no, but at least there has to be clarity.
The MPP should do Gofredami a good thing. They should try to always keep his name in silence in this discussion. You know why? Do you know that intelligence is speaking, or that there's a prima facie case that is established by the Ghana Court of Council against Gofredami vis-a-vis his conduct, trying in secrecy to side with Jakba in the case of
what has that got to do with the stealing of our money?
The point is that
what has that got to do with the stealing of our money?
There should be a historical antecedent.
Money has been stolen.
Who is prosecuting?
Godfrey did his best.
Of Appeal.
What are you doing now?
There was a defective charges, and the Court of Appeal also hold on those things, and even under cross.
Oh my God!
By their prosecution witness also suggest that
have you not lost interest?
So look. The bottom line is
have you not lost interest
the bottom line
in the fight against corruption?
We are a country
oh my God.
that has agreed to subscribe to the rule of law. And so at any point in time somebody want to advance rule of law, I am personally happy. My brother seated here has not cited even the constitutional a particular reading in the judgment who suggests otherwise, for which we can begin to have a healthy discussion on that. But what he seeks to do,
but I'm telling you, the Attorney General is applying for stay of execution.
Okay. So he says he will welcome that.
Are you in support of that?
I'm not supporting. Must I say this explicitly? I'm starting here. Read the judgment.
Are you with Temakulo or you are with the Attorney General? Let me know.
Faisal, hold it. What is response to? What would the response to whether he's siding with the AG or siding at Temakulo do to the case?
But at least it will let me get a proper understanding of his position. You understand? I mean, we need to know
on the basis of all that he has said. Yes, you should know his answer.
No, okay. So so I should say that you are with Sedina. Because you are saying that there's no evidence against
on the basis of the law.
There's no evidence against money has not been stolen.
Yes.
So what is the Attorney General trying to do?
But that's his opinion.
So it's his opinion.
We waste our resources on a wild goose.
Okay. So let me read some messages. My time is up. Let me read some messages and go away.
Good morning to our great minister. You know, one of the man who has to we found the bedrock of.
You have killed the conversation.
No, I've not killed the conversation. You see, he's a man. You see, this part trying to trivialize the Akoko agenda.
Okay, so you have greeted it. Oh, now you want to start Akoko? I beg you. Let me read this because we have a lot of messages on the topic. No. Let me read my messages and then we'll greet. Let me read my messages and then we'll greet.
Everybody knew that he was going to be the great minister. It is not just by.
Now you are leading me into temptation. I beg you. Kwame, welcome back. Do you remember Gofredami and Jakpa in that 2-4 case? Of course I do remember. It could be the same agenda in the case of Sedina. That's where the go to court mantra was carved from Obi in Tema. Okay, you said it to me. I didn't say anything. Mine is to ask questions. Good morning, Kwame. tell Faisal that the AG want to do that because of clarity for Ghanaians, because MPP can throw that into poor ignorant Ghanaians' eyes. I know the Supreme Court will come out with the judgments, so let's take our time. Erica, you sense this one. Okay, that's what Faisal wants. That's the AG will be able to pursue this further. Good morning, Kwame. Concerning Madam Sedina's case, does it mean one can't appeal and get justice? NPP is using the term political imprisonment against Chairman Muntumi. Does it mean Madam Tamakulu is also political? Ghana's politicians are playing with our minds, because I remember President Kufuor only managed to imprison Malam Isa, who was from outside his party. John Abbott, you sent this one. Adam Duval says, good morning, Kwame. The NDC, for that matter, President Mahama, should be very careful the way and manner they are handling this case. Some of we, the supporters of the NDC party, are not in support of the acquittal. The Attorney General should do the needful. Okay. Let me take the last one and then I will draw the curtains. Kwame, good morning. Welcome. Thank you. All we want as Ghanaians is to make corruption unattractive to politicians. So I don't mind if they jail the former appointees or not. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, who do you want to greet?
Well, definitely the leader of my party.
Okay.
Dr. Mahmoud.
Okay.
I mean, I wish him well. I wish.
Is he celebrating something? Or just everyday wish?
No, just wishing him well. And then, I mean, you know, he just returned from Yendi, went to participate in the installation of the regent. We lost our overlord last month, and there was a traditional process to install a regent.
We know about that. So you have done the greeting. Thank you very much. We greet. Since you
so,
want to greet.
Yeah, great minister.
So don't interject.
What's your fertilizer?
So let me say a very good morning to the Agric Minister, Honorable Eric Opoko.
Okay.
For the
so you have also on that note, we draw the curtains on today's edition of the show. God willing, we'll be here tomorrow.